You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. I'm unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Monday the 28th? 30th. 30th of January 2023. Back here with my good old friend, old being the word to focus on there, old friend Edward Simpson of 32 years old fame. Now, is that why you've dressed like an 18-year-old hip-hop dancer today? Are you trying to sort of like...
I'm just trying to stay young, Tom.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I'm trying to stay young. I'm trying to stay vibrant.
Yeah.
Trying to ignore the back issues, the greying hair, the aging soul.
Yeah.
Trying to ignore all that, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come in here on a Monday morning, be upbeat, be positive.
Crunk.
Be present.
Be crunk.
Be crunk. I just need to be a better version of myself every day. And try to fucking ward off Father Time.
Yeah.
Who's got his claws into me in a big way.
Oh, no, he's got his underhooks. Has he got your back?
He's got me back, dude.
Has he taken your back?
He's got me back. Yeah. And listen, you know that I've got no ground game. I've got no wrestling game. I've got no game generally.
No, yeah.
I'm gameless, punters and dribblers.
What's the opposite of ultimate? Because you're like that. Instead of the ultimate fighter, like you're the...
Yes.
Whatever that is. Find that yourself. But no, that's
well,
what we
Dior
mean.
will probably find it. That's
well,
what
he
his
might.
job is.
No, it is what his job is. But
He's got to at least look.
as long as I know that he's had a squiz.
I just want you to squeeze for me, bruh.
On first squiz, and I didn't want to do this to you, Eddie, but one of the ones that are first coming up is just worst.
Worst fighting championship. Listen,
I mean, look.
it's not worlds away, is it?
It's not worlds away. It's not worlds away. But I mean, fuck. It's not worlds away for either of us.
Well, I mean, at least you got a fucking yellow belt in judo or something.
It was orange, 3 stripes, doesn't matter. But you're right. At least I do have that under the mantle.
You do have that, brother.
But 32, we're now only a year apart for a brief window of time.
From now.
A brief window of time.
For a moment.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from the fact you're 35 next year. Mm-hmm. That's true.
That does. Yeah, it's tough.
That's got a ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, not a
That's
good
got
one,
a ring.
dude.
That's got a ring to it.
It does.
Fuck.
35. I don't want to talk about that so much because positive Monday, positive energy, positive vibes.
Yep.
Did you enjoy your birthday?
Fucking oath I did. I had a great time, mate. I had a fucking great time.
Good.
Boys took me to Icebergs for lunch, thanks to Oliver and Andrew. Very kind. Bit of lobster pasta, Tom.
That's
a few
nice.
cocktails,
Yep.
martinis.
Sounds nice.
Tommy's margaritas, rosé. Not big day, but that's okay. Still nice. Not as nice.
No.
But nice enough. Nice view. Out of the fucking heat, mate.
Well, that's it, right? It was
in the air
hot
conditioning.
as fuck.
It just ripped and teared. Had a fucking ball. Yesterday, Ella and my sister took me to the boathouse in Rose Bay.
It's
Very
good, isn't it?
nice
I told
spot.
you, dude, it's good.
Very nice
It was a
spot.
bit sort of cloudy yesterday as well, but like on a bright bluebell summer's day.
There was still some nice light pouring into that bitch, though.
good.
You know, like
You also want to get cover because she warm.
I needed cover. Got cover by the window. Nice vista, Tom.
Yeah.
The water's lapping up. You know.
Yep. That's
and
what it
again,
is.
just got into my work Sunday's a good day to have a couple.
Depending on what Monday brings.
It just changes the
But I think it depends.
the
right?
outlook of a Sunday.
Certainly.
You can wallow on a Sunday.
Yeah, but if
You can let Sunday.
if you've got a Monday that's got you by the fucking sack, then Sundays are bad anyway. Like again, not to regale everyone with my time in breakfast radio, but no matter how nice a Sunday was, it was actually being shit on constantly by the fact that I had to get up early the next day. Like it's just
Oh, that's unavoidable. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, that's a fairly specific example of having to get up at fucking 2:30.
yeah. But even if you got to get up and you got to go to like a big Excel presentation to all the bosses are in town.
But if you're having a drink, it does take your mind off
Well, it
it.
certainly takes the edge off for a little bit, but you can't fully unwind. But I do get what you look. I like a Sunday session, as it were. I had a little one yesterday as well, but I didn't have a fucking boss to ride my asshole today.
That's right. It can be better though, Tom, than sitting there in, with the curtains drawn.
True. Not
laying
living
in
your
bed,
life.
Not living your life, scrolling,
Worried about the impending work. You may as well just get out there and live your life.
counting hours, counting minutes.
They
don't
go quick
want
when
that.
they go quick when you're clock watching.
All I'm saying, punters and dribblers, is a roundabout way is you got to get out there and rip sometimes. Take your mind off things.
Yes, no, exactly right.
Allow yourself to unwind, to enjoy the fruits of the world.
Unwind by winding up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One of the best ways scientifically to unwind is to fucking wind up. I've always said that.
No, you have
You've
always said it. No, I have always said it.
It's a mantra of ours.
I got food poisoning,
You did.
so that was cool.
You did.
Haven't had that
When
for a
was
while.
that?
That was Thursday night, Friday morning. Now,
Yes.
thankfully, on the spectrum of food poisoning,
Mm-hmm.
it was not too fucked. Like, so me, my sister,
There's levels
and
to
Carly
food
had
poisoning.
it. Sister was worse, and it was from a pizza joint known to this podcast. I won't say because you can't prove unequivocally. Someone said that like people swimming in Bondi were getting gastro because of it was in the water. So I was like, well, fuck.
Did everyone that ate the pizza swim in Bondi? Like, for example? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
So it could have been that.
That's what I mean. But it's just like gastro to me without knowing is like, oh, you've got it for a long time. This was more like a food poisoning time period. Gastro, I feel like you've got it fucking hecked. I don't know. Like, again, that's why I'm not saying the pizza joint, but I'm like, we're all pretty sure it was.
But let's run an eye over things. Food poisoning, I always thought food poisoning involved throwing up.
I don't know whether it does or it doesn't because, see, my sister was sorry to do this. She was thrown up. She was, it was from all angles.
Yeah.
It was from all angles.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bonnie.
She was getting a workout.
I was just doing Tommy's like
Yeah.
they were going out of fashion.
Yeah, which is your bread and butter.
That's my bread and butter anyway, but it was a little less buttery, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it does.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Again.
Sorry.
Again.
I'm so sorry. Whereas
You're not that sorry.
yeah, I'm not that sorry. No, but I am because that was crap. It was a lot. The imagery's not nice. Carly, I think, didn't have anything. Isn't she was just like not feeling great. So it was a like sliding scale.
Sliding scale, right.
Now, Hamish,
Which
Hey,
may have been
Hamish-
exposure to specific slices, Tom.
it could have been. And Hamish ate the same pizza and didn't have anything. Now, that could be Iron Guts Streety working for you. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me if the man had like a throwback to a gut from an ancient sort of civil, like a Neanderthal sort of gut that could eat anything, could eat rotting raw flesh.
He could have a bit of Neanderthal in him, Hamish Street. And I like that wouldn't shock me if the DNA results came back and told that story, Tom.
Yeah.
I also think that given he was a bit of a ratbag kid growing up, he spent a lot of time rolling in dirt and mud and shit. Like, I think he's put in the fucking hours.
Yeah,
I
to
think he's
become
put in the
immune.
to become immune
Yeah.
to food poisoning, because food poisoning will ruin your fucking life. for a
Well,
hot
dude,
minute,
yeah, like it's you, and it paired nicely with Zoe, who sleeps very well, had teeth coming through, and woke up from her sleep at 10:30 in the evening, and was basically awake until 4:30 in the morning. Like she fell asleep for an hour, which is what like at maybe 3 or 2, which is when we also got like that same amount of time sleep. Then she woke up again, and it was hot, and we had like 1 hour sleep rolling into Friday, and I was like, I am out of action today. Thank Christ Steph's mum was looking after them because I was fucked. So I just slept all day.
Did ya?
Poor old Steph had to work. She didn't have what I had. She just had no sleep.
Yes.
Either way, dude, you fucking food poisoning, no joke. I didn't.
No
I mean,
joke.
Throwing up, like I've thrown up before when I've had too much to drink. That's one thing. But throwing up when you're sick, like I was just doing everything I could not to boot.
Throwing up is not a pleasant experience. It is when it's done. You're like, oh, that's a relief.
It's actually no, but there is like it's like exercise a little bit where you're like, I know I don't want to do this, but it makes me feel better.
It's brutal stuff. It's hard yakka. I've only had food poisoning once, and it was fucking awful.
I've had it a couple of times. I assume gastro is basically what it is. It's like in terms of it's not too dissimilar, I guess. But one just seems a little bit more like, I don't know, gastro seems a little like it lasts a bit longer, whereas food poisoning, it's like you can sort of start, like it comes in a wave and then it stops.
Were you
still
getting
feel
relief?
sick, but like,
I
mean, yeah, it doesn't. It's there.
like after you'd sort of
evacuated
the building, so to speak, Was there a brief moment?
Momentary.
Yes.
I think like an eye of a storm.
Like when would it come back in? 5 minutes later, 10 minutes
Yeah,
later?
it wasn't too far apart, but it was like, eye of the storm. Oh shit, crazy chaos, and then it's like, oh, blue sky. This is lovely because I've just done a fucking.
Was Steph in the same boat?
No, she didn't feel good. She was a bit more probably like Koo.
Because I don't think you've only got one toilet, don't you? Yeah, that'd be tough.
I was thinking that. That would be tough. Anyway, all's well that ends well. In that, I recovered, but just in time because we had Evie's birthday party on Saturday, and it was like, oh fuck, I'm not going to be able.
I was waiting for it to get for it to get pulled.
We were going to wait until the morning of. If I hadn't recovered, we were just going to cancel it, and then or like just have like the very fucking immediate family, and then I would just stay in bed.
Oh, okay, so you'd stay in bed and everyone else just g'day.
Yeah, hey, you just wave to me in there. I wouldn't open the door.
Just
walk past me.
Just yell something as you walk down the hall.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm like the Pope in state or whatever it is. I'm just laying there and you can come and view me while I'm shitting my pants. Anyway, that was,
mate, you could have. Listen, Saturday was lovely.
It was great.
Evie's 3rd birthday. Hot though.
Hottest day of like all summer.
Well, I think they're saying hottest day on record. Tom.
Yeah, we moved it from the arvo to the morning because we were like, oh, we don't want it to be too hot, and that was what the forecast was suggesting. Thanks to our weather forecasters out there.
Well, they're great. They're elite.
It was actually the inverse. It was 35 degrees at like fucking 10 in the morning. And ironically, she was having a semi-frozen themed birthday on the hottest day of the year.
It was stinking. It was stinking.
Yep.
Which is basically when it's fucking humid as well.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hot and it's all encompassing. And
everyone's sweating.
It just buries you.
Yeah.
It just buries you alive. Like everyone was huddled around the shade. Like a minute in the sun, it would cook you.
Yeah.
You'd be medium rare in the minute.
It'd start melting.
At least the Coronas were cold, Tom.
Kept them nice and chilled.
You did, mate.
The rosé was flowing.
It was flowing.
They were enjoying it. That actually got pounded into the ground.
Shout out to Big Day.
Shout out to Big Day.
Listen,
an ad still on
Big Day stands up.
It does.
Even under the rigours of a stinking hot day.
I like getting it into like the mouths of adults. And I know that technically you'd argue I'm an adult as I'm 33. Going to be 35 next year. You're 34 next year. 33. But when you get like an adult, like your parents' sort of age, vintage, and who you think are going to be a little bit more snooty about their tastes, and you know that if you're what it feels like you're a child going to an adult, like try my wine, that they're going to be like, okay, what's this fucking idiot done? Like, what's this idiot trying to do a bit of rosé? And they have it, and then they're pleasantly surprised, and you go, okay, fucking sucked in.
Get that up, yeah. Because I know what you were thinking, you
were thinking it was going to be shit.
Yeah, and you were thinking, oh,
dumb kids who don't get it.
I'm gonna have to appease this loser by pretending to like it. Smile and nod, smile and nod.
You. Then pour it into a pot plant when
smile
I'm
and nod. But as fate would have it, they're back moments later, begging on their knees. Where's that rose?
Big Day rose?
Where is it?
Anyway, on salehellosport.shop, not an ad. That wasn't an ad. That was a natural. That was how just conversational, but it was probably important to remind you that there's still a bit on sale. It's factual. Eddie. Now, 32, right?
Yep.
If we were to say 33, it would work better for my story here. So let's just say you turned 33.
I didn't though.
No, but we'll just say it for my story though, right? So like 33 is how old you turned yesterday, and we all celebrate 33-year-old Eddie. It's ironic that you turned 33 yesterday because that's exactly how many balls it took me playing for thick ropes to hit 72 runs. Not out.
Did you play yesterday? You back?
Yeah, I'm back, dude. Sorry.
I thought you'd thrown the towel in. I thought it was over.
It wasn't that I'd thrown the towel in. It was that I had to take some time away from the game to focus on family and faith. And then the opportunity came up yesterday, and I opened the batting. I hit a 6 off the first ball.
So you feeling it?
Mate, I don't know. Like, look at the bruise on my thigh. Look at that. Got hit by a cricket ball. That hurt.
Oh, you weathered a couple?
Well, I did weather. That one was the most significant, and I had to pretend like it didn't hurt me. It fucking caned. But
you're just trying to pad one away, mate.
No, I just missed it, I think. I just missed it. But 72 off 33, your age, ironically, in my return game, Chancellor 72. I just thought everyone might want to know that. I don't know if osmosis is getting into its work again, whether it's Steve Smith, whether it's the Don.
Don't you have to retire at 50?
I did retire at 50, Edward. That's a great point that you make. I'm actually glad. I was waiting for you to notice that. So I retired at 50, hit a 4. Then the rest of the team came in, all got out, no disrespect. I then came back in and I hit a fucking 6 off the last ball for a 12-run addition to my, I got a couple of runs. Then I hit a 6 off the last ball, and that gets you 12 runs. And
if you hit a 6 off the last ball, you get 12. So you actually got 66 runs.
No, dude, because this is exactly the fucking. I'm playing a sport where 6 off the last ball is 12.
Right.
And that is, to get that, is like you got to be a clutch guy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? This was their fastest fucking bowler. 6. Crowd goes wild. Now we lost, so that's not ideal. We did lose. They chased down our score in like fucking 10 overs. They were very good at batting.
10 overs.
Maybe 12. They fucking
Are you playing up again? Or
No, we did Div 5. To be honest, dude, we were walking out to field like we are going to beat the fuck out of these losers.
Why did you think that?
Because we got 150 on the board.
So that's a lot.
Well, it's a defendable score for sure. We were going at 10 and over when they were batting. It was fucking, we were in deep shit. It was like, well, actually more than 10 and over. It was like, oh, you're on 100 off 9. We're like, okay.
Any wickets from the big guy?
I took a catch, and then I did get a wicket, but it was on a free hit because I bowled a no ball before. Just isn't that the way? You can't have it all.
No, you can't, Tom. You can't have it all.
But I thought you'd be interested to know about the fact that I haven't lost a fucking step. In fact, I may have gained a step. Ring rust, not a real thing.
Yeah, fascinated, man. Absolutely fascinated by that information. I was actually thinking the other day, I wonder why Tommy doesn't play anymore. And then I actually had a thought that maybe none of them play.
No.
And then I quickly moved on with my life.
Yeah, it's a very good way to catch up with your friends that doesn't have debauchery at the core of it. It's a very wholesome way to catch up. Now, you might go for a couple of beers after, but it's not essential. It's about getting out there in the hot Australian sun, playing some cricket with your friends. Tell you what, I'm sore all over. Just feel like I feel ripped about how sore I am.
Well, there's definition there for sure.
Yeah, it's coming on.
It's coming on. It's coming on strong.
Now, we may need to cut this out because I don't know yet, but a friend, one of our teammates, Barthy.
One of the greats.
Great man, Barthy. It was late in the innings. Him and my brother were batting. I was next in because if they get all out, you come back in if you've retired. Sure. As I explained, 72, not out of 33. Now, Barthy and my brother are batting. We're trying to just get as many runs as we can in the bank before the thing goes over.
Mm-hmm.
He tries to push so they run a single, then he tries to push for a second run. That was not on. And so they've sort of come halfway down and then turned. He's trying to get back into his crease. And because he's an all-or-nothing guy, body on the line for the team, he's just launched himself to try and slide in. I'm at square leg, and so I have to call whether it's out or not. He was comfortably out, but like close enough where you still had to look to me to like make a call. As he's landed, he walks up and he's going, fuck, it wasn't on. He's like, oh, mate, my shoulder's a bit sore. And
so you gave him?
I gave him. Mate, I hate when you're there with people, like when you're playing against a team where like you clearly hit a 4 and they don't give it. You're like, dude, why are you cheating in fucking Div 5 cricket? Like, it's very embarrassing for you to behave like that. Anyway, Barthy walks off, his shoulder's a bit sore. And then we're going out the field. He's like, mate, I think I might have fucking dislocated my shoulder. When I...
How can you think that?
Well, because it can sublux, so it goes out and comes back in. But you're not 100% sure. You just go, fuck, this feels very jacked.
Sublux, Jesus
Subluxation.
Christ. Where are you pulling that from?
Sorry, I subluxed my kneecap playing footy at school.
Okay.
First 16, whatever.
Oh, is that when you got fucking dropped and then your mum had to fucking beg for you to get put in this home?
Well, I didn't get dropped, but I was injured. And so technically you could say that, but I wasn't. Technically, I was just injured. Side note, sublux. So anyway, he fucking goes out there and he fields the mad bastard. He's standing right in close, but like his arm's just hanging. Like he couldn't fucking... But he was like, he's a tough...
Did he lift the fucking thing?
No, dude, he was trying to... He had a perfectly good hand, but he kept trying to like smoke a cigarette out of this one. He's going, oh, no, mate, I'm all
While
right,
he's
boy.
playing.
Yeah, well, no, in between, and afterwards. He loves the dart Barthy. But his arm was fucked. He's trying to drink water and shit. He's like, nah, it's sore. So anyway, he fields. Like, I don't think he touched the ball the whole innings. Like, he just couldn't. He was just there. And then afterwards, he's like, mate, I think I'm going to have to go to the fucking hospital. I'm like, yeah, dude, you will. Like, or go to a doctor or whatever. So he goes. We all had to, like, everyone was going their different ways. So I was like, mate, well, good luck. Like, let us know how you go. And then late last night, everyone's like in the group chat going like, oh, how are you? Like, what's the update? And I'm in bed. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and my phone pings, and I go over and I read it, and I start reading this fucking description. And it's through the lens of like, 35-year-old fucking males who go and play Div 5 cricket, which means absolutely nothing, but they come away from it sometimes with the most horrific injuries for like what is just the most, menial of like the exploits or, hobbies just for fun. And him just writing about his fucking, so he's fractured his shoulder and he's meant to be going to Germany on Wednesday, and now he's going to need surgery.
For one of his big conferences.
Or something, dude. And now he needs to have a fucking surgery. He's like, got to learn to wipe his ass with his other hand. He's going to be in a sling. He's like, but in the way he's writing it, it was like poetry in that it was just still like optimistic and like pro the club. I'll just read it. But again, I haven't spoken to him about whether like, him, because it's probably fucked him. Everyone's like, Barthy, how you doing, mate? Hey, Ropes. Sorry, I've been at the Northern Beaches Hospital, living the dream, going through the motions. This is at 10:15 in the evening. Going through the motions, homeward bound now. And long story short is, I fractured my shoulder, verified by the X-ray, which I've waited some time for to be taken. I'm in bed reading this, convulsing with laughter, like. I can't see. I'm tears. You're just streaming down my face. Verified by the X-ray, which took some time to take. Have to wait to hear from an orthopedic surgeon tomorrow morning, but looks like I may need to put my scheduled Germany trip on hold, on ice, which rips my undies almost as much as not getting the W today. For our great club. There was never a run there, Will, but fuck, I wanted one. We'll update more in the morning, but looks like my right arm will be in a sling for a month and I'll have to learn to wipe my ass with my left hand. Brown Powerades with you boys soon. Love this club. And then just goes on to detail highlights from the day's play that he liked about the game. And I'm shaking so much in bed laughing. I'm like, if Steph wakes up, she's going to think I'm fucking crying, like something's hit me, something's happened.
Oh, my God.
So I had to go to the bathroom in the house, and I'm sitting on the toilet in the bathroom like fucking... It took me 5 minutes
you got up to go.
Dude, I had to leave the room. I was laughing so hard. And I was like, obviously, I'm not laughing at Barthy. Like, it sucks that he's injured. But it's the it's so unnecessary that we're playing cricket on a Sunday, and like he's just got this injury from lunging for a run that he didn't need to get. And before he went into bat, we were all talking about we need to start taking some quick singles and like quick twos and shit. Like,
so that's what's fucking inspired.
We were all talking about how we need to, if we get out there, you got to run harder, and like just he's fucking broken his shoulder. So anyway, that may be cut out and no one knows, but shout out to Barthy who just puts his body on the line for the club.
Mate, there's an injury list when it comes to like, social sport. Like
the toll, dude.
Fucking the amount of mates that I play Oztag with that have injured themselves is fucking
That's what I mean, like Freeman and shit. Like
Freeman nearly broke his fucking back or his neck, bro, playing Oztag. ACLs, hammies, fucking shoulders, everything. Unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
That's great. We love that.
Just a bit of drilling there. Just a bit of light drilling.
So shout out to social sport injuries, I think is where we're going with that.
Can you, dude, reach out with some social sport injuries. That'd be good on the dribbler hotline. Or even just fucking ones you can read out.
Put them in P's and D's, send them to us personally, put them on the fucking hotline. Send them in, though.
Social sport injuries.
Pics as well.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see broken bones, though. I can't watch that shit. Like, I need
like Div 2 down sort of thing, dribbling.
Oh, I think Div
Not
1,
semi-pro.
Div 1's not
Social,
semi-pro.
social.
It's all social.
Social.
Yeah, social. But like that social makes it funny. That's why it's funny.
Like, don't send in your fucking Sheffield or shit.
No,
shield
exactly.
injuries
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit,
Or in
right?
your under 20s fucking, NYC or whatever.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no. Needs to be social. Needs to be dribbling.
But like, again, I'll run it by Barthy. Hopefully he doesn't mind that it was just a funny
I don't
thing.
think he would. He's a...
No, I don't think you would either. It was just fucking absurd.
Hang on, just before we move on from the Thick Ropes County 11, I
Yep.
just want to make sure that the punters and dribblers really have a comprehensive view of how this match went. Would you like to detail for them how many runs you got hit for off 2 overs?
Yeah, the bowling wasn't good, Dave. The bowling wasn't good.
How many was it?
I actually don't know, but it was like in the 30s, I would assume.
Yeah, it was 31 off 2 overs.
Yeah. I got pumped. I got absolutely fucking spanked. Now, there was an argument made, not one by me, because I think I was bowling shit, but they may have been like Div 3, Div 2 sort of batters, batting down in Div 5.
Is that considered highly uncouth?
Oh, it is, mate. But in the like high stakes world of unnecessarily competitive social cricket, people like to just to be like when you play video games on easy, just so you can dominate.
People like dominating.
Yeah.
Their one batsman hit 36 off 8 balls.
Yeah.
Who'd he spank?
It doesn't say here.
No. But I did make. I did get on the honours board. I'm just seeing this now. Sydney, last man standing, highest individual score. I got number 8 in the top 10. Some guy got 117 off 47. Jesus.
That is fucking absurd.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to you, Tom. A mixed
Thank
day.
you. Great
mixed day.
Yeah, no, fuck the bowling. Who cares? I got the runs. I can't do everything.
No, you can't. Can't be expected.
I thought
to.
Dave was going to come and give some context, that maybe like put my batting in even more. They took a photo of me after it. Basically, put it that way. After I walked off, the umpire takes a photo of you.
Why?
I think. Well, now this is controversial. I'll check this, but last man standing on their Instagram, they obviously don't have the photos up, or maybe. So this is what I was going to say. So they took a photo of me after my batting.
Yep.
But then they also took a photo of a guy from the opposition team because of his batting, and I'm like, that
Well,
guy.
who got more runs?
I got more runs, but I think he might have got his 50 and fewer balls.
So what's more impressive, though?
Well, I don't know. Maybe a 50 and fewer balls.
Sure. Because then you retire.
Yeah.
Did he come back?
No, he didn't because they fucking humped us. so
There you
bad.
go. Right.
Anyway, fuck it. That's the cricket. Move on. Punters and Dribblers, the podcast is always brought to you by the #1 betting app on planet Earth, and that is our good friends at Neds. They support us in the daytime, in the nighttime, in the mornings, in the evenings, at dawn, at dusk.
You're absolutely right, Tom. Ned's is there at dawn and it's there at dusk.
Yep.
Reliable, dependable, stupendous.
That's right. Coming back into footy season, I am so toey to get back into my same game multis.
SGMs, Tom?
SGMs just around the corner. First try scorers, last try scorers, et al, et al.
Overs, unders, totals.
About even returning just around the corner.
Oh, it's close now, baby.
Big season on the horizon.
Oh, it's close, baby. Biggest season ever, Tom.
Biggest season ever, and that's all thanks to our good friends at Neds. Now, obviously, punters and dribblers, gambling can be an issue, and there are ways to best help yourself with gambling. And obviously, that's to be responsible when you do it. But there's a number that you can call if you are struggling, and we encourage you to do so. And that number is, Edward.
1-800-858-858.
Bit of sport, Eddie.
Yeah, bruh. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here,
That's
punters
why
and
we're
dribblers.
here.
It's called How to Sport. Sometimes we talk sport. Sometimes. Not always.
Well, listen, Thursday's less likely to talk sport. That's just the way it is. Australian Open,
Australian
over, Australian Open. Some dribblers like, what, you're fucking talking about the Australian Open more? I got to be honest, I found this year, and I may be wrong here, I may miss
You're
it.
not wrong.
I may be, hey, strike me down if I'm wrong on this.
You're not.
This was the most boring Australian Open of all
Boring's
time.
batshit. Boring's batshit.
Curious not in. Nadal got knocked out in the first round, did he? Or did he not even play?
He's injured.
Like
he got
fucking
knocked out.
Djokovic just steamrolled everyone. He was always going to win. The final was boring. He just humped Tsitsipas. Like,
It was boring. Like, it wasn't. It didn't grip me this
No.
year. It was.
Didn't grip
It
me.
was. It wasn't gripping. Kyrgios not playing, fucking hurt.
Yep.
The kid's an entertainer. He puts bums on seats and he gets tongues wagging.
Naomi Osaka didn't play. Obviously, she is with child. Congratulations to Naomi.
Congratulations to Naomi, yes, of course.
You know,
It's just a
Tomic
bit
wasn't
like-
given a fucking wild card. I bet they regret that now.
Oh, fuck yeah. Bernard should have got one.
They should have given Nard a fucking
Again,
wild
it's
card.
all about getting tongues wagging, bruh.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It just didn't have it. It just didn't have it.
the cock lost like a long match to Andy Murray. It's like Andy's
It was
out there
played at 4 a.m.
I know. Andy's out there with fake hips. I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing here? He's basically Oscar Pistorius out
What
there.
are we doing? You shouldn't be taken to the court that late for
No.
a fucking 5-set men's match.
It would have been like the
absurd.
game match of the tournament. No one watched it.
It's 4 in the morning. It finished.
I just
4
didn't
in the
feel.
morning.
I did not feel compelled really to watch anything the entire tournament. Apologies. I watched the final.
I watched the final, which was boring as well. Like it just was.
It didn't get interesting until they finished, and Novak cried for like fucking 20 minutes.
And that, yeah, but also it's just there's just a feeling I get of it's sometimes it feels a little staged.
Yeah, that didn't seem staged. That cry was raw. That seemed like he even said in his speech like something else was going on there. Because like that wasn't like a I won cry. That was like something. I thought it was like a fuck you. You all were like giving me shit about anti-vaxxer stuff last year. You didn't let me play, and then now I've come back and won. Fuck you. But apparently he said in his speech it was like something might have happened.
Something might have happened.
Like family-wise. It was like
Yeah.
the family, the last 5 weeks has been the toughest. His old man's out there fucking supporting Russia, getting in front of Russian Putin flags. and shit.
Yeah. And may or may not have been saying like "Long live Russia" and
Yeah,
shit.
and then everyone's like, "Oh no, it was
No, it means
misquoted.
cheers.
It was misquoted." And then like other Serbians like, "Nah, that's not. Didn't sound misquoted."
No.
Either way,
Hilarious. Either way.
I mean, there was nothing more virtue signaling than not allowing Russian players to have flags next to their names.
I
That was
know.
fucking
I'm
ridiculous.
like, oh my god, that was absurd.
That was absurd.
like, why can't you have the flag?
Well, we know they're Russian. It didn't seem to stop bloody Andy Roddick with an American flag next to his name when the US were just
Yeah,
getting into
killing
their work.
millions of Iraqi civilians. No one fucking
No
blinked
one
an eyelid.
cares. Serena
If you
Williams still
can't,
getting
if
her
you
Aussie
can't
flag,
realize
American
how
flag.
fucking absurd that is,
Yeah.
that Russia can't have a flag there. Although I'm not condoning them invading the Ukraine, far from it. But I'm like, but our Yankee Doodle mates fucking do that shit every other fucking week, and no one blinks an
gives a
eyelid.
fuck.
No one gives a fuck. They were fucking taking poor little farmers out of their fucking homes in Afghanistan and locking them up in
Like-
Guantanamo for fucking 10 years. No one gives a shit. All I'm saying is there is a level of irony there.
Well, it's
And
it's
you not
irony,
and you
it's
not having the
virtue
Russian
signaling,
flag.
it's
You
hypocrisy.
not having the Russian flag and a tournament in Australia is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, give it a rest.
Give it a rest. Anyway, Novak
Novak's just too good.
humped Tsitsipas. No disrespect to Tsitsipas, I'd be touching up that untanned stripe across the head. Just put a bit of fake tan on there, bro.
Yeah,
Looks fucking bizarre.
Yeah,
I get it, but
no,
like,
I think just touch it up.
just touch it up.
Tom, you'd be shocked at what a bit of makeup can do.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Can change the man or woman's complexion.
completely.
And I think it would take the onus off. You know, it'd free you up to play better tennis, I think.
Well, but I mean, I'm more even just thinking in the post-match interviews, which go for far too long in terms of all of the like preamble. He just had this big white stripe across his head, and that's all I could look at. That's all I could pay attention to. Now that's a me problem, but I'd like him to fix it moving forward.
It'd make you more palatable.
Yes, I think it would.
It'd make you more palatable. At the end of the day, Djokovic is far too fucking good.
Yeah.
He's far too good, and he reminded us, I think, of there's without Nadal, who was like injured and then didn't play, and Federer's obviously retired. Like we're going into, and it was always going to happen, and we always knew it was going to happen. We're going into a real dearth of talent period.
Is it
I
an
think.
ice age?
Almost like an ice age, Tom, where things just fucking really sort of what's the opposite of thawing?
Cooling.
Freezing.
Freezing up. Doesn't sound great, but that's what's happening. Where you just sort of look about, like, it's almost like a harking back to the David Nalbandian times where
Yeah.
Hewitt scraped out a couple of majors.
The best players in the world had maybe one or two majors to their name.
Yeah, you know, Gustavo Guardio. whatever.
Never heard of him.
Weird
Marit
people
Safin
like that.
in the box. Was Marit in there? Was that Safin in
Dude,
there?
the poo was in there.
The poo was in Tsitsipas'
I'm like, where's
box.
the poo come from?
Dude, no,
Sit in the box.
I like that the poo.
The Scud missile, dude.
I
what
like
the
that the
fuck?
poo's in. I like that he was in the box with Tsitsipas. I don't know if it brings much. Like the
Well,
poo,
I don't know what it brings.
Well, the
Tom.
poo is a hot Greek.
I tell you what it brings. It brings fucking how to lose a Grand Slam final. So
how to lose a
that sort of
Grand Slam and
experience.
alienate people. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen, yes.
He gets up there. He can show Tsitsipas how to lose at least 2 Grand Slam finals. That's what he can show.
At the very least.
At the very least. He's out. He's been out there. He's done it.
In fairness, I think that was Tsitsipas' second Grand Slam final.
There you go. So it was actually
Money well spent.
It was actually money well spent having the Scud missile in there of an interesting guy fame.
Did he date Paris Hilton at one point fame, or was he on a reality show fame? I think he was on a reality show.
He was on SAS.
No, not that. I mean, yes, but one
Didn't he
where
have a love show?
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it was like Love Match or something.
Age of Love.
Age of Love.
See, why the fuck didn't they have a tennis reference?
They
there?
should have played on tennis for sure.
What was it? Was it Age of Love? Like you've got fucking.
It was basically Philippoussis looking for love among a group of women ranging in the age from their early 20s to late 40s. And
And did he find someone?
well, there was a winner. I don't know if they ever had a future together. Can you guess how old the winner was?
Probably about 23, 24.
25.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Leo DiCaprio age bracket. Shocked she wasn't 50. Anyway, the poo was in the box of Tsitsipas. Novak had his family there. Once Novak won, went up there in tears, crying his eyes out. What I love, the fucking flex, and you see this shit happen, and it gave me an idea, is that when he's standing there to get, waiting to get brought, like to have his speech, he's standing there with a Lacoste jacket that's flickery and shiny with 22 already on there.
Yeah, I know.
He has that in the bag, which is what, you know, and
Well,
like,
he said he didn't know about it. I'm like,
bullshit.
And
And that's fine because you did, but whatever. It's the same as like when NRL Grand Final and like they've got their Premiers T-shirts printed and then 50, like one team's just going to a fucking incinerator probably.
Yeah, I've always wondered what happens to those shirts. Like, are they incinerated or are they like given to another home?
I want
are people out there wearing those sort of like, you know,
Well, this is what had me thinking it is. That
Lakers champions of the fucking world champions hats and shit, but they lost to.
Yeah, they
Golden
they
State.
often donate them to like third world countries and like disaster stricken places. So like every now and then you see a photo floating around of some dude in like the Congolese jungle wearing like a
Manly Premiers
Melbourne
2013.
Storm 2008 Premiership jersey.
See, I think that you and I, and this doesn't have to be something that we, like this is just for you and me here, but make like Manly Premiers T-shirts every single year.
Yes, we should.
We should just have Premiers 2023.
Ready to go.
No, we're like fucking ready to rock.
You got to be confident.
Yeah, exactly. You do.
It
you need
seems
to believe.
it seems to me that, you know, the fact that he has 22 in the fucking bag before he walks out there
That's confidence.
is confidence. And it's the sort of confidence you need to go out there and wipe the fucking floor with Tsitsipas straight sets. Get the job
You've
done.
got to have confidence. Completely different sport, completely different context. But Joe Burrow was interviewed. I just heard this in the car coming in, and they were like, Joe Burrow of Cincinnati
fame.
Bengals quarterback fame. And it was like, are you guys in your premiership window or your Super Bowl window now, or is it going to close? Like basically asking out the window, and he goes, my Super Bowl window's open until I retire. And I was like, that's just such confidence. Like you wouldn't hear NRL players talk like that, and it's very yank. I don't think we need that in the NRL necessarily, but it's like I also like.
I don't hate it, dude.
I don't hate
that sort
but it's
of thing.
yank.
Like, you can't do it here because tall poppy syndrome, you get your fucking eyeballs ripped out.
get 'em
and
ripped
people
out.
will shit down your throat.
No, they would
for
shit
it.
down your throat, Masood style.
Shout out to
People are Josh Masood in a
Shout out
heartbeat.
to Josh Masood, one of the greats,
Slit
and
throat, shit
has
down.
provided us with one of the great sayings of all time.
It is phenomenal. Slit your throat, shit down the.
Yeah, but people will shit down your throat if you come out with that sort of rhetoric in the NRL and Australia generally.
Anyway, so Novak gets 22. He's saying he didn't fucking know about that jacket. That's one of the great lies all time.
It's one of the great lies all time. But at the end of the day, Tom, he pulls equal with Rafa. 22 of fucking
He will
days.
take over Rafa. There's
Yes,
no
he
doubt.
will.
Rafa's old as fuck. But in the Telegraph yesterday, a.k.a. the Men's Women's Weekly, it was so funny, dude. It was like on the open page. Obviously, I was reading it on my iPad. which is where I consume my newspapers these days. But
Is that right?
down the bottom, it had why Novak's the GOAT. And then on the opposite page, it had like another one person saying why he's not the GOAT. And one person saying he's the GOAT because of what he'd done. But then someone saying that like the GOAT debate is purely about, well, not purely, it's about what you do, but also like what you do off the field. And I was just wondering, I was obviously interested to get your thoughts. That you are a man or woman that I come to help me make sense of the world. Is the GOAT debate fucking cut and dry, or is it about how you carry yourself? I have an opinion.
I think that obviously there's a huge element of what you do on the pitch or the field or the court. However, greatness sometimes is more than that. Like, I'll give you an example. Muhammad Ali is considered the greatest of all time, but he's not the greatest boxer of all time.
See, he's not considered the greatest boxer of all time by boxers.
But people call him the greatest,
They
right?
do. Because,
but he's not the greatest boxer of all time by boxing purists, right? So, like, greatness can be a little bit more than that. Tiger Woods, for example, he dominated on the field, but then there's also something sort of like almost mystical about him as well, you know what I mean? Like, the numbers he puts up just on like when he plays, there was something called Tiger Rough, which is what if you were in the same group as him, you scored better because the fucking galleries were so big that they'd fucking like stamp down the grass and the rough and shit.
Oh, shit.
Like fucking toilets get tripled when he plays. Like golf ball sales fucking go up hundreds of percent.
Yes,
like,
but that's different to goatness. Even though I'm not talking
But I'm-
Tigers,
but I'm
that's
saying
like
that's-
marketing value and shit. Like that's different.
But there is something that like people are just drawn to him.
Sure, but so then Ali was used in that in one of those articles as well, right? Ali, I think, from a boxing perspective, is the greatest heavyweight maybe of all time. That's what people say, or that's like he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. But then there are other boxers who are like better boxers in the overall scheme and scope of things. So the fact that he's the greatest of all time is more about like he was an icon that transcended the sport.
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
Right, so he's an icon.
Yes.
There's like icon and GOAT. Whereas like Federer, icon, clearly not the GOAT now. Like he can't be the GOAT.
He's not. He's not the best tennis player ever.
That's the GOAT. That's got to be what the GOAT is for me. It's got to be about just like, what numbers did you put up? Sure, you could be a piece of shit off the field or whatever, but like, but the numbers are also slightly subjective in the sense that, and obviously Smudge not better than Bradman, or Smudge has got like less runs than say Steve Waugh, but he's played way less games. So in the context of that, you'd say that Steve maybe is a better batsman than Steve Waugh in a cricketing sense. But like with Federer and Djokovic and Nadal, they've all come in the exact same era. They've all played each other in their primes, and Djokovic has a winning record over both of them.
But do you think greatness as a term sort of embodies potentially more than just numbers?
Potentially,
because I think greatness is a little bit more like of an extravagant word. It sort of encompasses a little bit more than like raw numbers, which is that Djokovic will win more fucking Grand Slams than anyone else. He's won more Masters, I think, than everyone else. He's made more money than everyone else. Like,
but is he the best?
But that's sort of like Excel-y stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, but it's about like you kind of have to go to that, right? In this article, the guy's like, Margaret Court's won more Australian Opens, Serena's won more slams. I'm like, he would beat the absolute piss out of anyone.
But like, I'll give you an example. Like when Federer used to play at the French Open, for example, he'd often get cheered over the French players.
Yes, he'd get cheered over players everywhere.
There's an element of greatness in that, I think.
Yes, but fuck, is he the greatest of all time though? That's what it's got to be, right?
Yes, I know. I agree with you. I'm just saying. We're having it out here.
We're
beating different dicks. I'm not over here just solely beating this dick. Like I can see that there's value in your dick too. I get that. Like maybe I want to play with that one as well. I'm just saying, like I'm open. You know what I mean? I'm fluid over here, baby. Like I'm happy to work a couple of different things because I understand that Djokovic is the XL GOAT. I get that. Like the numbers stack up. They're overwhelming.
XL GOAT.
He's the XL GOAT.
Yeah.
But there is something about like the combination of popularity and great playing,
Yes.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
Because Federer's not worlds away from Djokovic, numbers-wise.
No.
He's not worlds away.
No, he's not.
They're in the same fucking breath, right?
Yes, they are.
Maybe he's a couple short here or there. I get that. But there's also that element of Federer just being like universally fucking loved.
Don't you reckon it's crazy with Federer, who, like, when Federer was in his, like, come up realization, this guy's like, he's beaten Sampras, everyone's going, this is the greatest tennis player I've ever seen. Not just GOAT, you know, fucking.
But he
who do we love?
floated, dude.
No,
You could
he
just
floated.
watch his feet. It was
He was the greatest
fuck.
tennis player we'd ever seen.
He's an artist.
But so he was the Don Bradman, the Michael Jordan, the fucking Shane Warne, the whatever, the greatest you've ever seen in this sport. To have that fucking bested in such a short window of time is insane. Like, when you were seeing him at his best and you're going, this guy's the man, you're like, you didn't realize, I certainly didn't, that Nadal, who never really had enough he never really got to experience soul greatness where he was the top of the pile. But it just went Nadal and then Djokovic straight on the heels. Like, Nadal's had like a couple of months where he's the only guy.
Federer started it and almost dragged up Nadal, who's
dragged,
and both of them then dragged up. They
Djokovic.
almost created Djokovic, really.
Because everyone was
They
saying,
created
used
a
to
monster.
They used to be like, this guy just doesn't have it, can't cut it with them. And before you know it, it's like, oh, this man can. And
Created a
Tsitsipas
monster.
said it. Tsitsipas goes, the greatest to ever hold a racket. Now, he could have been sucking him off because he was standing right in front of him. But he didn't need to say that. It was a very pro-Djokovic environment there, I guess, at the end. They were very loud, the Serbians.
You could probably make the argument that Federer and Nadal birthed Djokovic in some respects.
Right, so they were almost like Yao Ming's parents, where it was like an arranged marriage.
Almost like their greatness spurned another great, and they all fucking were great together. Like,
yes.
You know, you've got, it may well never happen again in our lifetime that you've got three that it probably won't. The three greatest of all time playing each other just in this fucking and they just dominated. Like, you go through the list and they fucking won basically every major except for like a Stan Wawrinka or
Andy Murray.
Maybe an Andy Murray fucking drags
Marin
a couple
Cilic.
out. Maybe a Cilic won. I think one.
US
he won.
Open, I think.
You know, like Del Potro got one.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Del Potro.
Martin
Del Potro.
He got a US Open. Like, there's a couple of fucking little outliers here and there, but by and large, for the last 15, 20 years.
Did Zverev jag one?
Yeah. For the last 15, 20 years, it's been three cats, dude.
Yeah.
With Andy Murray chipping in three, I think he got.
Yeah, he got exactly. And three used to be great.
But we will go back to the age, and I hate to I'm not saying this because I don't respect him. I'm just saying back to the age of Hewitt and of Pat Rafter, where you win a couple here and there, and that's sort of it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was on their knees for Sampras. Sampras the GOAT. Sampras like, no.
Your kid got 14.
14's not up to scratch.
Grew up, kid.
14's not up to scratch.
It's cute.
Andre Agassi, one of the greats of all time, won 8. It's like, that's boring now.
Nadal, what's his name? Djokovic has got 10 Australian Opens.
10.
So, I mean,
what did our boy, the fucking candlestick, get? The great Rod Laver. He got 4 fucking Grand Slams, though. Credit to him.
No, he got 2. He got 2.
2 Grand Slams, obviously, with 4 in the calendar year. Did it twice.
And the Grand Slam is winning them all.
How many did he win? 11? I think 11.
Mate, I tell you what.
Again, that's half of what fucking old mate's got.
I don't want to be morbid. I want to know, like, what happens when the great Rod Laver leaves us and goes to play tennis with the angels in heaven. Do we just keep that seat empty? Because it's a rite of passage to sort of like acknowledge Rod and him just to sort of sit there.
Is this too crass? And it may well be. But would as a nation, would we be anti-embalming Rod and just having him sit there?
Embalmed forever. And like a coat of lacquer.
Like a moose head on a wall, but like
full body.
But full body.
Yeah.
And it's just Rod in Rod's seat.
What do we do?
Rod's arena.
In Rod's arena. Now, is there a roof on that thing? Like, would we need to cover him during the rain?
Well, there's a roof on.
Okay, so you wouldn't need to get like a a sort of bike cover or something.
You could probably just have his hand in a certain spot and just put a little umbrella in there. Just like tuck an umbrella.
Yeah, no, that's true. You could just do that.
I
think it'd add a bit of charm.
It had plenty of charm.
And also a bit of realism to it.
It had plenty of charm. Plenty of charm.
Just have him like that because they only cut into him for reactions. Or have him like trying to take a photo That's always good. You see Rod trying to take a photo, he's there, and it's like, fuck, he doesn't know what he's doing.
Listen, I think that'd be a nice touch. And
wouldn't
when
mind
everyone
that.
comes out, they bow to Rod.
Yeah, they just go and kiss his head.
You bow to Rod in Rod's house,
Yep.
Rod's stadium.
But I mean, like, if they don't go the embalming route, which I think is elegant and understated,
I think so. I think it's a nice touch.
do they keep the seat empty? Is it like just an empty seat forever, or is that a bit too morbid? Is that a bit like, okay, like we don't want to, you don't need an empty seat?
I think there needs to be some sort of acknowledgement outside of the fact that his fucking name's up in lights. I know what you mean about if the seat wasn't to be left empty, it would need to be filled by someone, a very special guest.
Yeah, you couldn't just have some dickhead, smashing booze, drunk off
Oh, you
his
couldn't
ass.
have some fucking, IBM executive or care executive in that seat. It'd need to be
Speaking of
someone of
that,
class and elegance.
As two gentlemen that have no qualms bending over for the corporate dollar, and nor should you, punters and dribblers, but
Well, if the
I
corporate
do-
dollar comes a knocking,
then I'll open.
I'll go
I'll
a bending.
entertain.
I'll go a bending.
Yeah. I'll open the door bent.
Yes.
I fucking hate the
What do you hate?
the ceremonial, like, procedural aspect of those post show events where it's like the head of the like you've got Todd Woodbridge up there doing a good job. I like Todd in just bringing these people in. He's got to have these like formality speeches. Well done to all the players, and what a great tournament, and thank you to the umpires and the ball boys. What an amazing. And now we will bring on the chairperson of the Tennis Federation of da-da-da. Some chick comes on and then she talks and she's like, it was a great tournament. It was so good. And now we're going to bring on the da-da-da from Kia. Da-da-da. Well, Kia loves their association. And you're just like, get to the fucking players speaking, please.
Did they bring out the Kia man this year?
No, they've got an Australian CEO. It was good. No dramas with it, but it's like, keep it tight. Do you need to speak?
I don't think you need to speak. I don't know what sort of value you get from speaking.
That's what I mean. Like, I get in the deal you're working out. It's like, I'm sure as part of the package, it's like the head of Kia gets to get up and have a yarn post event.
But does he want
add
to?
anything?
But does he want to?
I'm not.
Does she want to? Do they want to? What's the point of it?
I don't know.
Does it inspire you? Does it drive you, pardon the pun, to get out there and buy a car?
It was so funny at the end of it again. So, like, they have this, but Novak has his speech, and then it comes back to Todd Woodbridge, who, as soon as Novak's finished, okay, we're done here. Todd then gets back up and starts trying to spruik the next major. We're not done just yet. Now it's all day. We move on to, is it Roland Garros next?
Yeah.
Move on to Roland Garros. And it was just like, I could just see in my mind the televisions across the country going, don't care, Todd, thank you, tournament over.
It's also the Grand Slam of the Asia Pacific region, right? Like a lot of the advertising you'll notice is in like, Asian languages and shit. I'm like,
really?
What's the value of some bloke getting up there speaking English? Like,
Well,
thanks for fucking being from... Like, I'm just saying there's no
do you
real...
think you should be speaking in another language?
I'm just saying if you think there's value there, there wouldn't be any value. Like, there would be limited value.
I don't
They're not
understand.
just trying to sell Kias to Australians, put it that way.
No.
That's not why that's on the fucking net and all the backboards
No,
and
they're selling
shit.
to the world, Eddie.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But yeah, I don't see the need to have that happen. Maybe the head of the tennis, like the lady whose name I escapes me, but she's like the head of the tennis association of something.
The world.
Of the world, of the universe. Like, I get that she needs to say a few words and whatever, but like, thank Kia. The Kia guy can stand there, say cheers, and then like,
I think he just gives a wave.
gives a wave, dude. A shuckers.
Fucking oath.
Yeah, a big fucking.
Hey, but
how's it
elk
going?
cunts.
Or a
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
But also, we're not doing this because we love tennis. We're doing this to sell cars. So
Yeah, that's it. No, we're doing it because we fucking
don't
wanna
forget that.
buy a Kia.
Like, it's funny. It's made out like, that there's some sort of like, we just do it because we fucking love the game.
No, they love the game. I'm sure they love the game, but like, I mean, that's sponsorship generally, right? But it's more just like the obviously it's a terms of agreement with the fucking Tennis Australia or whatever.
TOA,
it is.
Tom?
Exactly.
A tower.
TOA, to be like, we're going to get this guy to get up and speak. And I was just like, can we please just get to the boys yarn? And
I do miss Mr. Kia Man, though. He was...
Kia Man was good, dude. Kia Man was funny.
People liked
Like,
Kia
he was,
Man.
he actually was like a charming. Whereas, I mean, and again, not knocking the guy who did it. It's not about him. It just wasn't. There wasn't much to it. And also, shout out to Sabalenka, the female champion.
Yes.
I didn't watch it.
I
I watched.
believe her first.
Think so.
I did watch it.
I watched it. I had it on the background, kept an eye on it. Again, just the tournament generally didn't get me hard, but shout out to Novak. I think he's equal with Rafa right now, so it's still open, but you would assume he becomes the GOAT. That's me. But again, what's the GOAT?
Well, he looks like he's still. I mean, he's always feigning hamstring injuries and shit. But like, he looks like he's fucking cherry ripe to me.
Yeah, he looks like he's good to go.
He's still limber. He's still flexible as fuck. Still dominating. Whereas Rafa clearly falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, Rafa doesn't. Rafa almost fucking didn't he? When he won Wimbledon recently?
Put it this way, he's the same age. He's the same age. I think only a couple of fucking weeks or days apart from Andy Murray. Andy Murray's got 2 fake hips.
Yeah.
Fake hips.
Yeah.
Like, talk about aging like a fine wine. Novak's fucking... Mate, he's going to be coming back and he will win another fucking 3 down here, 4 down here, 5 down here.
Yeah.
I think Nadal's older than Andy Murray.
Are we ruling out... No, I'm talking about Djokovic and Murray, are very close in age. Are we ruling out Novak getting to 30? Is that
how old is
that
he?
OTT?
34?
He's 35. Turning 36.
He could, man. Like, there's no one. He's turned 36. Look, mate, if he plays till he's 40, he could. Federer did.
How old was Federer when he won that last Wimbledon? Was the Australian Open run?
37, 39?
Federer is 41 now.
No, but how old was he when he last?
When was that? 2018?
2018 was the last one he won. So, what's that, 4 years ago? 5 now almost. So, yeah, he would have been 37, 36, 37.
And Novak's 35. It's time.
You get a couple. 30's a lot.
30's a lot. He's got to win 8 more. A couple this year.
You could, yeah, if he gets a couple this year, and he could, probably will.
US Open and a Wimbledon.
Yeah. How many?
And tell you what, if he gets the fucking Grand Slam this year, shut the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Turn it off.
Shut it up. Shut it up.
Shut the gate.
He's
Turn
also,
it off.
I think, the only one who's got a calendar year, and he's got the grands. He's held all 4 at once.
Yes, he has.
I think he's done that twice, maybe.
Novak's
but not.
slam.
Yeah, but not in the calendar.
Doesn't count.
Well, no, but in comparison to
does,
Federer and
but it
Nadal,
doesn't.
Federer and Nadal haven't.
No.
Anyway, that's probably. Look, if you were wondering where the tennis chat was, there you go, you fucking dribbler. Eddie, some concerning news in the world of rugby union. And you and I union first. You know that. We know that. I will say this. Since Eddie Jones has come on board, rugby union way closer to the back pages of the nation's newspapers, and I respect it.
Eddie moves needle.
He does. Needle mover.
He's a needle mover. Eddie's off an R. Carry on.
Eddie's off an R. Now, that isn't actually what I want to talk about with regards to rugby union. It's not Eddie Jones. They are looking to bring in laws to lower the tackle height to, there's yarns about it being below the waist or below the sternum. Like,
Below the waist?
there's some, I think they trialed below the waist somewhere around the world. And then,
Only below the waist?
yeah. And then there are some that are saying below the sternum. And I think, though, if they do bring it in, it's going to be below the sternum. This is...
Where is the sternum? Just so I'm like, is the sternum the bottom of the...
That's your sternum.
Yeah.
Like just in there. In between your pecs.
In between your pecs.
That's your sternum.
Would you say in between the nipple, Tom?
Yeah,
like
so
nipple height?
Below the nips. Is what...
What is a sternum?
Do you know what I think of a sternum as in my mind? You know when you walk along the beach and you see a dried cuttlefish?
Not really.
Get a dried cuttlefish up, Dave.
Is the whole thing a sternum, Tom?
Nah, it's like a...
Where does the sternum start and where does it end?
Well, woo up here, fucking Dr. Phil. I don't know.
Dude, if we're going to fucking outlaw the tackle below the sternum, we need to have a fucking fair understanding of what the sternum is.
It's tit height. So below the tits.
Below the nipples.
Yes.
Sure.
Which is easier to follow because you can draw a line unless you got some wonky nips.
Well, listen, nipples often not wonky. See, look, there's sternum there.
Looks a bit penile, doesn't it?
Well, it's a bit long.
But have you gone a dried cuttlefish, Dave? Because
Yeah,
I
it
feel
came
like
up with a lot of the food, which I don't think was what you were quite hoping for.
No, you're right. On a beach, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's a dried. I think it's just like a...
Cuttlefish on beach.
Yeah, these ones.
There you go.
Yeah.
As if that doesn't look like a sternum. to
Yeah,
you.
that
looks like a sternum, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's sternum.
That's pretty spot on.
Good from you.
I don't know why. When I see it, I go, "There's a sternum." Now it's stupid. I get it, but I'm fucking.
No, but they're
switched
not
on.
worlds apart.
No, they're
Sternum got a bit of cock about it, though.
It's got a bit of cock, bit of cuttlefish. Anyway, the reason they're doing it, obviously, is to try and avoid concussion, right? Obviously concussion. But it's like, at what point are we just going to, do you just cancel it? Just cancel sport. Can't do it. Or have these contracts so airtight that you go, listen, if you are partaking in this sport, then you are taking on the risk that is associated with it. Like, could you sue someone if you were doing a fucking Red Bull cliff dive and you fucked it up and broke your neck jumping into the water? Maybe you could. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is inherent risk in doing shit. What happens with Scotty James when he's flying down a half pipe in the Olympics going 400 million metres in the air, spinning and twisting?
Yeah, like
comes down and hits his head on the fucking...
If Travis Pastrana got it wrong, you know, and the double back he goes awry, like, is he...
Is he now what, like, fucking I'm going to sue motorbike, motocross?
Surely in those examples, there's like, the courts would argue, and maybe the contract suggests that you are taking on a fuckload of risk that you are personally liable for. Maybe they need to build that into,
I guess,
some rugby union contracts. If this is the
personal liability is difficult when you are playing the sport, though. Like, and then I also understand that the sport can't be like, if you're getting, dementia or whatever, like, is the sport covering your costs? But I guess like the sport's not covered. That's probably got a lot to do with.
Listen,
like,
obviously shit. Sternum is far more palatable than waist. Waist is absurd.
Sternum is dumb, dude. And Sonny Bill put up a video. Shout out to Sonny. Would love to have you on the podcast one day. My big strong bra. But like Sonny
He's gorgeous.
Sonny put up a thing on his Instagram being like, the worst concussion I ever had in my career was me trying to go low on someone in a tackle, and he put a video up.
Mate, waist opens up knees,
elbows, the guy's trying to
elbows and fucking hips, dude. Hips are no joke.
But like
hips will fuck you up.
You can get knocked out going low, you can get knocked out going high, but the reason they're saying it's like they're sort of removing any consideration, it would seem, about the danger to the tackler, because the only reason they're lowering it is because of the danger to the tacklee.
But then Sonny coming out being like, mate, and you see cunts getting fucking knocked out because they get tackles wrong all the time.
I wonder whether it happens more to a tackler than a tacklee.
I reckon, listen, I don't have the numbers. I don't have the numbers at hand, Tom, but I've just got that vision of someone going down low, getting it wrong, and taking a knee or a hip and just...
Yeah, like your Boyd Cordner.
They fall back.
They fall back. Your Boyd Cordner's Jake Friends, who had to retire because of concussions. I remember a lot of the time seeing them reel out of tackles fucked, as opposed to getting tackled.
Yes. I completely agree. Just that fucking image of them falling back.
Dropping back, exactly, and being like, oh, what the fuck? Like, that is when it seems to happen the most.
So where is the IRB, the International Rugby Board, Tom?
I'm not sure. I know that have a little look if you can find. So the Chief of Rugby Australia said...
Not Raylene Castle anymore.
And the sport poorer for it. I don't know his name. Hamish McLennan? Hamish McLennan.
McLaughlin?
No, that's Gill's brother. He initially said something like, it's inevitable that the tackle height's going to change, and then everyone was like, what? And then I think he's come out again since and subsequently said, nah, like, it's not inevitable. So it's like, what the fuck? Rugby's just...
How do you say it's inevitable and then walk back on that?
Again, that's a do your own research, punters and dribblers. I was reading it yesterday, but
I'm more coming from the perspective
I don't have all my ducks.
It's almost like he's like let a cat out of the bag, so to speak, and then the feedback's not great because they haven't decided yet. They're like walking back on it.
But you just like, it's especially with rugby, which already has such an over policing.
Well,
you're like, do you need to do any more than this now?
Too many laws.
Too many laws. It's like, now you're going to go, oh, sorry, that was above the sternum. Fuck me dead.
So a few things. So I think the new chief executive of Rugby Australia is Andy Marinos. I think Hamish McLennan's gone. This new law was unanimously voted by the RFU, the Rugby Football Union, which is the governing body in England, which it says... It'll ban tackles above the waist for all matches below the elite level. So not professional, below the elite level.
So that's club rugby?
Yeah, essentially.
That's been voted into effect, that you have to tackle below the waist.
From July 1st.
Wow, bro. And, that is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, that's insanity.
So it seems like a lot of it has come from... They did like a lot of trials and... like studies and stuff about the risk of concussion, but one of the big things it mentions here is that there was a class action by like 60 or something players for essentially not being warned and properly catered for the amount of head injuries. So it's almost like a liability thing.
Yeah. And I understand from that side in terms of like, but it seems though a little bit unfair. And again, I'm speaking without knowledge. And obviously if you are dealing with the byproduct of concussion from fucking head knocks in rugby, like that's fucked, right? That's awful. But everyone seems to be getting to the understanding at the same time. It doesn't seem like it was something where, you know, like people are hiding the facts and then going, oh, well, we knew about this and we just weren't telling you.
Yes.
Like it seems a little unfair, again, based on the very primitive understanding that we may have. But that, like, everyone's working this shit out at the same time and only realising how bad concussions were or are, especially continuous and over a long period of time. Like, what are you going to...
Is there any acknowledgement in that study, I'm guessing not, of the risk of concussion from fucking tackling that low?
No, it doesn't seem like it. But that is one of the opposition that a lot of like players and stuff have come out and said, as you said about Sonny Bill.
Tell you what, your Tongan Thors of the world are going to be like, I mean, obviously it's only below professional level, but like if you're a Tongan Thor body type, Taniela Tupou, and you're playing like, good luck tackling that fucking guy around the waist.
Yeah, that ain't happening, mate. That ain't happening.
Good fucking
You're just gonna get
luck.
bunted.
Yeah.
You're gonna get bunted out of this world.
Do you know why you go high on someone like Taniela Tupou? And I don't mean head high, I just mean above the waist, is because he's fucking terrifying around the waist.
Yeah.
He's terrifying everywhere, but he's less terrifying above the waist.
Their legs are fucking huge.
Dude,
and they're just knee high, just fucking running out.
Humping,
And you got to go low? Fuck that. How is that? That seems like so obvious to me.
Yeah.
That if you have to go that low with motherfuckers with tree trunks for legs, and they just go, you know what, bro?
Powering.
I'm going to fucking bring my knees up a bit.
Well, that's it as well, though. Like,
And I'm
going
gonna
to
scare the
start
fuck out of
monitoring that.
motherfuckers.
High knee runners, like...
Mate, it's I don't know. I don't know where we're at. I don't know where we're at now. And again, I don't have fuckloads of information to hand. Maybe it's a huge problem that I'm not.
Well, it is a huge problem, but like...
But so the head highs have been outlawed in the game for fucking, I don't think they were ever play on, right? So they could be arguing. I'm just playing the other side of the coin here, Tom.
Play it.
There may be a feeling that, listen, head highs have been outlawed in the game since its fucking inception, and we've still got issues. So what do we do about it?
Right. But so then isn't it the same? And like, it's still going to happen, you would assume. Something will happen. What about if it's a fucking tackler around the waist and then he falls down and he hits his fucking...
I think it's ludicrous in the extreme.
You can't avoid concussions. You can't get them out of the game. Like... What if a guy then is changing his body height? What if he's running like, again, like in the action of you would when you pack a scrum, where you're like really hinged at the hips and running like low. You're picking drives at the fucking ruck and maul. Like, how are you hitting a cunt around the legs there?
Yeah, he's diving in to score a try.
Yeah, like
right
what the
next to
fuck are you
line.
going to do?
How are you going to... That doesn't make any sense now that you fucking...
How do you hold a guy?
Particularly like fucking I'm next piggy or whatever the fuck.
My pillow, my place.
My pillow, my place. That sort of shit.
Or my pillow, my post. My pickup, my place.
My pick... Again, that's forward shit. I was
that
never
is.
up there.
Yeah, sorry.
But like, what happens there when motherfuckers are literally...
That's what I mean. Like what do you do? Tongan Thor pick and drive from the back of the ruck a metre out from the line. Don't you touch me above the hips, bitch.
Or is that considered waist height because they're hinged at the waist as opposed to below the waist?
Again,
you know what I mean? Now we're getting...
Absolute can of worms.
One of the things they've said to try and like really make it, it could make the game better or whatever from this trial that they ran was that it increased offloads and passes in the game. But then how do you wrap the ball up?
Righto. Absolutely ridiculous.
Absurd.
And like
you are opening, Tom,
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box, a can of worms, Tom.
Can of worms, Pandora's box.
And listen, we all know that once you've opened that can of worms,
Tutankhamun's tomb.
then them worms are out.
Yeah.
And they're about.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
No, you can't. Although they do get it in the first place. But you know what I mean?
It's a great point. I think you probably could get it back in.
Well, they have to get it in. because it comes out.
But you can't get it back in.
No.
But I reckon I could actually if the goal was, can you get toothpaste back in the tube? Yeah, I can. So stop with the fucking.
You'd just syringe it back in, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
you would.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Lemon squeezy.
Anyway,
Shout out to lemon.
That's all I have on Rugby Union though, buddy. I just thought it was important to talk about.
I think it's good for you and I, Tom, to get it off our chest. Let the punter and the dribbler make their own decisions. We're just shining a light on the game where it's at. Very interesting. Didn't realise Rugby Union in England had basically banned above the waist tackles.
Sort of.
Watch this space.
Eddie, it's official, right? Like until end of Jan / Dribbler New Year, February 1, I don't allow myself to get too hyped about rugby league. Cricket's still on, Big Bash, tennis, like there's distractions there. But now that that's all done, is the Big Bash still on or is that
it's still going.
It's finals this
tonight?
week.
Or
No,
tonight?
this week.
This week. Finals coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Australian summer, from a sporting sense, essentially over. I am now, and it's been long enough since the Rugby League Grand Final, I am now starting to get the tingles within my scrotum that are the signs of excitement for the 2023 Rugby League season. Like, I'm getting jacked. The players are all looking super fit. They've had 10 weeks of fucking preseason. I don't know if you saw this. Can I show you this? Eddie, for a second? A photo that I took a screenshot of, which I'm also going to post on Instagram. But Josh Addo-Carr.
Dude, Josh Addo-Carr is a fucking specimen.
Dude. Josh Addo-Carr. I'll
Like-
send this to you, Tobler. You can put it in the YouTube.
You want to talk about motivations on the way to Six Pack City?
Dude, like that man,
He's packed up.
he is packed all the way up. You know what, Josh Schuster, not that weight's important, punters and dribblers, but it is a good indicator of whether you're up and about and you're ready for a season. Joshua Schuster is 15 kilos lighter than 2022. 15 kilos.
That is unbelievable.
He came back. He fucking said no. He said nah, brah, to the Rugby League World Cup.
Yeah, he did.
He's a Samoan. He would have been in the final.
He wanted to get his body right and his mind right.
I want
and his spirit right.
I want to get hot, horny, and humming for the mighty Manly Seagulls.
Watch him have one of the great seasons all time, Tom.
Yeah.
He's absolutely fucking primed for it. This is his moment. This is his moment in time. You're absolutely right.
15 kilos, dude.
Before we get into it, we all know that the balls start to tingle around February for Rugby League. We all know that.
Yep.
We all know that. February moments away.
I'd also say this quickly before you go on, that all trials exclusive to KO
Coming up.
coming up just around the corner. And then if you want to get really granular, you want to call yourself a rugby league fan, and you don't have KO, then what you are is a liar because of the numbers Diored here, but 300 games of NRL played in a season. I think like 250 of those are exclusive to KO. So
Well, it's about 95% of them, Tom.
Yeah,
Exclusive to KO. So if you don't have KO, you're a fucking fraud, and you should know that. And you should hang your head in shame. It's as simple as that.
Shame.
Also, we've also said in the past that February usually dry from a sporting perspective. Trials, baby. It's all about the trials.
starting to moisten up again.
Moisten me
not
up.
to get back to Ice Age sort of
Moisten
chat
me
and
up.
like
We're thawing.
environment, but it's like, oh, the Sahara used to be a rainforest. Now it's dry. The Sahara was what February used to be.
Yes.
February used to be a sporting Sahara. Now
It's wet.
more of a tundra.
That's wet.
Is a tundra what I'm looking for?
A tundra-
Well, that's Arctic. No, not tundra. What is it? Rainforest.
Can a tundra not be like...
Humid and
No, can a tundra not be like a fucking tundra of...
rainforesty, swampy.
Just like no trees, I think is what a tundra is.
Yeah, but it is.
So you can have like
usually-
grass... Can you have like grass fields that are tundras?
You can, but it's still cold.
No, it's not. Well, it's not cold. It's a humid equator-based rainforest. February. It's starting to get that way.
A tundra is when the subsoil is permanently frozen. So
No,
there
that
could
is not
still be
what
grass
February
on
is.
top.
So it's not a tundra.
It's not a tundra.
It's not a tundra because there's the rains have moistened this bitch up.
No.
It's
February's
moist.
starting to moisten.
It's moist. It's moist.
It's
There's
thawing.
moistness. There's moistness. Like a moist tiramisu.
Shout out to Steph's mum who made one of the greats.
Shout out to tiramisu generally.
Yeah,
But shout
but-
out to
but
that one
you-
by Marina, who
Marina-
stood the fuck up and delivered
Yeah.
when it counted.
She made one of the great tiramisu.
When it counted, it counted.
She went hard.
She went hard in the paint,
Yep.
delivered. I ran my eye over it, and my buds loved it.
Loved it.
Shout out to Marina. What I was saying is, Tom, obviously Kieran Foran, dog, love him.
Love
loved.
ya. Love you, Kieran. Loved you. Loved.
I think, like,
thank you. You want to comp with the club, so there's always going to be love there.
Always.
But now you're a dog.
But you dog the boys.
You're a dog.
So
you're a Gold
it is
Coast
what
dog.
it is.
You're a Gold Coast dog.
Listen, did you dog the boys to go play in the Gold Coast? Yes. So, like, I don't know what you want me to say. Josh Schuster, obviously, eyes on the metaphorical prize, goes, I want to own that 6 jersey, baby. I want that 6 jersey to be mine and mine alone. Obviously, there's boys sniffing around. You hear some fucking stories about some young farmers.
KO Weeks. Not an ad for KO. That's not a cross promotion. His name's KO Weeks. Might be different spelling.
Listen, if the 6 jersey for Manly was a bumhole, dude, there's poochers sniffing around.
Yeah, there are.
That's all I'm saying. Sniffing that fucking bumhole.
Yeah.
And our boy Josh Schuster goes, that's my bumhole, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Get
your nose out of my bumhole.
Yeah, get your nose out of my bumhole because that's my bumhole to do what I want with. So he goes out there under the fucking, the careful eye of one Roger Fabry, sharpens up, quickens up.
Also the watchful eye of Tony Siebes.
Tony Siebes. Watches, like, just weight dropping off the kid. He's going to go out there and have one of the great seasons. So,
yeah. Now,
just you've been warned.
Yeah, you've been warned. Just quickly on Tony Siebes and KO Weeks. Not an ad for KO, but shout out to KO.
All you're doing, Tom, is pointing out that KO Weeks has the same name as KO.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. But I'd also point out in the same breath that if you don't have KO, then you're going to miss 90% of the Rugby League games in 2023. So that's an aside. Happy accident, if you will. Now, Tony Siebes, who obviously since rebrand, I trust implicitly, and, you know, I like the way he looks at the game of rugby league. He's had, I was reading
Always
this,
have.
Always have. He in the Herald, I believe, he was speaking about how he's had KO training at fullback the entire preseason. Now, obviously, that provides us some much needed cover for Tommy if he goes down, but also Ruben, who is now a centre / I was always a centre. Ruben, I was always a centre. Garrick.
Well,
I'm happy with it.
Ruben cutting his fucking teeth
on the wing, on the sting,
but also always gave off centre vibes.
Well, he played in all these junior reps because he was a schoolboy, an Aussie schoolboy, I believe, centres. So imagine having a fucking world class centre on the wing and then just going, now we're gonna put him in the centres. Anyway, KO Weeks training at fullback because Coach Tony Siebes, said that it's the best position to learn the game. So he's probably going to be a utility player for us, a 14 maybe. Can cover in the halves, cover in fullback, but he says that he's going to now come into the utility role a much more intelligent footballer thanks to his time at fullback. Now that, to me, is just coaching nous and coaching insight from one of the great minds in the game.
Tom, I think that the year 2023, season 2023, particularly from a Manly perspective, may be like the year of the bird. You know, like, fuck you, you're dad of me. You know?
Bird.
Ruben, fuck you, I am a
Bird
centre.
gang, dude.
Bird
fuck
gang,
you.
fuck you. Tommy Turbo, fuck you.
Not Tommy, but Tommy's saying
As in
this.
Tommy's saying that to the league.
Giving
fuck
the bird.
you, I'm winning another Dally M, I'm not going down injured. Tony Siebes, fuck the lot of you, I am a great coach. Joshy Schuster, fuck you. I'm not some fat slob who you
15 kilos.
that you think has lost love for the game.
15 kilos.
Fuck you.
Bird gang.
Like, it's going to be a year of fuck yous, Tom. That's what I think. And I reckon they get up there and when they're lifting that fucking probe and summons going, fuck the lot of you.
Bird gang. That should be our 2023 premiership t-shirts.
Yeah. Bird gang.
Birds sitting on a wire.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck the
sitting
lot
on
of
the
ya.
premiership trophy.
Yeah. Fuck the lot of you. That's
Anyway,
what's happening.
That's what's going to
season.
happen.
That's what's ahead of us this season. Year 2023. Year 2023. Year of the bird.
Lord and Savior. Year of the bird. Now, generally speaking, from a rugby league perspective, I've heard Tim Sheen's come out. There's a lot of hype around the Tigers, and hype is probably a...
there's
some interest. Some whispers.
Hype's probably the wrong word.
It's definitely the wrong word.
There's certainly some... they're spoken about in different terms. Like, it used to be like Tigers was sort of mentioned only with sort of like a grimace afterwards, you know? You'd be like, oh, like
Sad.
Tigers. Sad, depressing, deflating, embarrassing, you know?
Yeah.
But this offseason has been kind to them. They've recruited well. Tim Sheen seems to have brought a bit of a sheen back to the club, Tom.
Well, they were, you know what they're calling him in the paper? Sheenius. Which I mean, I just want to know where that fucking energy was when you sacked him however many years ago, but whatever, that's fine. But the genius has returned.
The genius has returned. Oh, my God. The genius. That's good stuff.
Just
that's what it's
like
all
penis,
about.
though, a little bit. I know it doesn't, and I'm being childish, but a sheenus is sort of what it sounds like to me.
Sheenus feels like part of a penis.
I got the cleanest, meanest sheenus. That's a Biggie Smalls line. So, sorry, I'm fucking tapped into the bloody culture.
Sheenus feels like a muscle in the penis. That's all I'm saying.
It does. It sounds like a muscle, like an important muscle.
One that, like, squeezes out
Loads and piss.
You know?
Loads and piss.
You know they shoot out? It's like, that's a sheenus.
That's a sheenus.
It's a penis pump.
It's a penis pump, but that's
Pumps
what
out
the
loads.
Tigers have got. They've got a penis pump, and they'll need one because that penis hasn't been hard for fucking 11 years. Yeah. But the sheenus came out, and
I'm also hearing that fucking Benji got a bit of genius about him.
Benji got a bit of magic dust for that sheenus.
Sprinkling.
Which I think once it gets hard, keeps it numb so it doesn't go.
Well, that's right. Just inspiring it, the sheenus.
Sheenus gets it hard. Benji numbs the tip.
Yep.
Sensitivity gone. Not going to go early.
So you can go in there and you can put in one of the great performances of your life.
Well, you need to be staying hard for 26 rounds of rugby league football and then finals.
Yeah.
So sensitivity needs to be at a minimum.
You can't pop off early. If you go round one, it's all over.
Exactly.
You got to build and build and build for the finals.
Yeah.
You need that sheenus pumping at the right time.
And then sensitivity at its maximum probably for grand final day.
Grand final day.
You need to be hypersensitive.
Hypersensitive on grand final day.
To the touch.
That's right. So you can over the whole league. You know what I mean?
Complete. That being said, Sheenus came out and was heavy. Because I'm looking at the Tigers and I'm like, I can't help but feel like I don't hate them. In terms of like, they brought in some good players.
I don't hate them.
But the only problem is that you just look at their halves and poor old Lukey Brooks of never taken him to the finals fame has never taken him to the finals.
The Sheenius thinks it's paramount to bullying.
That's what I saw. The Sheenius.
Paramount to bullying.
Bullying.
Bullying. It's paramount to bullying. It's cut and dry bullying.
Yeah.
Black and white bullying.
Black and white bullying.
Now, that may be true, Sheenius, and maybe there is an element of bullying, but I also don't think that the bullying has been unwarranted at times.
Listen, bullying unwarranted, but criticism warranted.
They're sort of they're almost like relatives though.
They are.
You know?
No, they are.
You could
Half brother and sister.
You could misdiagnose a good honest criticism
as bullying. Or bullying as criticism.
That's right. Depending on how you wanted to look at it. And if you're looking at it through the lenses of a man who loves the club, trying to protect his boy going into a season, trying to give him every ounce of confidence that he can possibly impart, you could probably understand why you call it bullying. I think it's more criticism,
yes,
generally. But I can't help but like him, Tom. I'm a Bateman guy. I'm a Coruscant guy. I'm a Papali'i guy. I am. Dude.
I've always been.
Those guys fucking hump like they prime me in many.
I've always been a Bateman guy as well.
Always been a Bateman.
I've always been a Bateman guy.
Always been a Bateman guy. Great to see him back in the league. Obviously, it's hard to fucking scratch that itch elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a big time throbber, like if you're a big game guy, Tom.
Or girl.
Obviously, or girl. If you're big game, guy, girl. It's hard to scratch that itch in a beta league. That's all I'm saying.
And that's no disrespect, despite the fact it sounds inherently disrespectful. I think we can all agree, no disrespect, that the Super League not as super as the NRL, so slightly beta. So you're not going to scratch any success itches in a beta league when you know that you're a big game player in the biggest league in the land.
If you need to put super in front of anything, it's probably not the case.
Superman. I mean, what do you stop pushing us? Stop pushing him on me. Superannuation.
Yeah.
Is it necessary?
Is it just annuation?
There's
nothing super about it.
Super rugby. Not anymore.
No.
Not
Do you know
anymore.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Just rugby, really.
Super Soaker. Probably the only one Super Soakers were good.
Super Soakers were good.
I don't think
Super Nintendo.
Nintendo 64 is better.
It is. Super hasn't been used well or appropriately since the Super Soaker.
I'd agree with that.
I'd agree with that.
Now, reach out if you think we're wrong, but can't help but feel like we're not.
All we're saying is Bateman out of the Super League, which isn't that super at all, back into the Premier League on the fucking planet, the NRL. And I'm excited to see how he goes. Will he have lost a yard of pace, Tom, so to speak? Obviously, pace is not like a fucking hallmark of his game.
Do you just mean a step generally?
Yes. Will he have lost a step?
Potentially. But then again, if you look at
Because he was basically the best back row in the comedy league.
No, he was. I think he might have been the back row of the year. But if you look at the way that I returned to the thick ropes after being out, 72 not 33.
You reckon?
33
You
rocks,
reckon? You reckon?
I just mean like that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
You reckon there's a bit of Birmingham in Bateman? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, did he grow up in Birmingham in England? Could have. That city was named after him.
Can't rule it out. I can't rule that out.
No, you can't.
Birmingham in the north, I think that's where they play rugby league, Tom.
There you go.
Can't rule it out.
There you go. So
But
listen,
would
I don't
you
think
be
so.
shocked? Would any of us be shocked if Tigers come out and fucking go back-to-back Spurs?
I also wouldn't be shocked by that. I do think the Dragons certainly looking less inspiring. That's just a vibe thing as much as I don't like going too deep into the Dragons. I just find them very... Tell you who I do like?
Was that bullshit about them getting rid of the Illawarra?
No, they did. I'm pretty sure they did. I tell you who I do like, and I can't help it. Bulldogs. I really like the doggies. I like their side. But I tell you who doesn't, or at least who was concerned, and Dave, you might need to find this article, but I do know that Buzz of Mayo Man fame, of Hates Phil Gould fame, I think he's concerned with the radical spending that the Bulldogs are having. He thinks there could be some problems.
Yeah, he thinks it's unsustainable.
Yeah.
Thinks it's going to run out of coin.
Yeah.
Well, he put it also in the context of the new pokies laws that they're overturning, which will limit people spending on poker machines, and saying the Bulldogs, among other clubs who rely a lot on like their leagues clubs to fund them, could struggle to maintain that level of spending if they're not getting as much money.
But Phil Gould is spending the money that's been given him by the NRL, is he not? Or is he like fucking buying, like
No, I think there's
centres of excellence and
I think there's probably elements of that. But the Laundy boys have got deep pockets.
yeah, deep pox. Shout out to the Laundy boys if you I don't know, if you feel like there's some room in your pockets.
Well, listen,
couple of young podcasters.
Just if I'm hearing you correctly, Tom, what you're suggesting is that if the Laundy boys of deep pocket fame are looking to offload a little bit of cheddar,
Yeah.
look no further.
And by deep, we mean Mariana Trench. You think the Mariana Trench is deep? You haven't been in the pocket of a Laundy.
Listen, Tom and I always open for cheddar.
Listen, we'll go exploring the deepest recesses of this planet.
Yeah.
If those recesses are the Laundy.
Do you want me to
boys'
take an
pockets.
expedition into your pocket? Because I will.
We'll get Dave. What's his name? James Cameron on the
Get him
blower.
on the blower.
Get him to get that
Get me one of those.
deep-sea
Get me one of those fucking submarines, bruh.
that it can withstand pressure of ocean pressure, which water
Well,
pressure.
like thousands of metric tons.
Yes, which again, Laundy boys.
Listen, all we're saying is if you're
Yeah.
a Laundy and you own pubs and you want to give us money, that's good. That's what we're
Or
saying.
stock Big Day Rosé in every single one of your.
Listen,
Anyway.
I think Buzz is just looking to fucking write something. And
Yeah.
credit to him.
I respect it. I love it. I miss Buzz. I miss Kenty. I miss Hoops. I miss Braith. I miss the circus. I miss it, and I can't wait for it to get
But
back.
I would say this. I would be more concerned if I was, I think Buzz should be more concerned if they were spending money inappropriately. Think like, was it the Eels who got done for salary cap fraud, but they fucking still came last? Like that's a mismanagement of
you
funds.
cheat the cap and win. Good for you.
But if I'm looking at the way the Bulldogs are spending their do-re-mi, Tom, I'm liking what they're buying.
Dude, Reid Marnie and
Reid
Matty Burton,
Marnie,
captain.
stud,
But named as
kick
captain.
out,
Him and Matty
Just
Burton.
them, they've announced one of the all-time most complicated leadership groups ever,
Who?
the Bulldogs.
Talk to me.
So they've got a club captain who's Raymond Faitala Mariner.
Yep.
And this is what it says in the NRL article. He's been tasked to lead the charge on club culture alongside teammates in the leadership group, Josh Adokar, Vili Kikau, and Max King.
Yep.
But the game day on-field captaincy will be led by co-captains Reid Marnie and Matt Burton.
Yeah.
No, that makes complete sense.
No, that's not difficult. That makes sense. And Cam Serraldo of highly touted rookie coach fame, he knows what he's doing. What he's done is he's picked hot throbbers on the rise, willing to, need to step up, right? You need Matt Burton to be that motherfucker. You need Reid Marnie to be that motherfucker. So you're giving them the responsibility to let them, rise to the occasion. But culture is important.
Culture is very important, and you've got one of the great culture generators in Adokar fucking
Correct.
leading that fucking
You want
front.
Vili Kikau a part of culture because you need him to buy in, and if he's been given some responsibility to be set the agenda here,
Yes.
he's going to make sure that he steps up to the plate, literal and metaphorical.
You could argue genius from Serraldo with those fucking selections, Tom. You could also argue Reid Marnie, Matt Burton. What do? They touch nut. They touch a lot of nut.
And that's not, you're not each other's.
No, I'm saying they
share a nut.
They share nut. They pass each other nut. They swap nut.
Swap nut. Exchange nut.
Exchange nut. A lot of it. And I think that if you're out there swapping nut, fucking, countless times a game, then you should probably be skipped.
Yeah, because you're taking one for the team.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Kyle Flanagan's name come up in any of those. Is that fair? Is that correct?
No, I didn't hear Kyle.
I'd be interesting if Kyle.
Well, I think what Serraldo's done, Tom, is he's freeing Kyle up for a big year. You go out there and you own this year on your own terms.
Yep.
There's no culture. Don't worry about culture. Don't worry about fucking.
No, you're just football.
Game day.
You're
just rugby league football.
Yeah.
That's all you are, baby. You're a 7. Go out there.
I need you to be a 7.
And I need you to be a 7. I want you to be a 7.
You're not a 6.
No.
I need you to be a 7.
I want you to wake up in the morning and just go, who am I? I'm a 7.
I'm a 7.
That's all you are.
Get him walking around in a 7 suit. Now, that seems dumb. That seems like, Tom, you're a fucking idiot.
Is
but
it
I
though?
think
But
it
is
is.
Is it?
For a man that's struggled to become a 7.
You need him to look in the mirror and see the number 7.
Yes.
Because he's in one.
Yeah. Watch the movie 7. Different film, but that's all right. Surround yourself with 7s, and you too shall be a 7.
Yeah. I've always said it.
Yeah.
You've always said it.
We fucking oath have always said it. So that's the Dogs, though. I don't know what... I mean, listen, I'm happy for Buzz to just come out and get the wheels turning.
Mate,
Buzz is under the Titanic, shoveling coal as they're trying to just get the fucking turbines moving.
Get them moving.
But
Light the last boilers. You know what I mean?
Light the last boilers, full steam ahead.
Correct.
Next stop, New York City.
Take it to see Mr. Murdoch.
That's right.
Let's stretch your legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. A quick shout out, Eddie, to Cody Ramsey, who of Dragons fullback fame.
Yep.
Dude, ulcerative colitis, I believe, out for the season. Had a family member with ulcerative colitis. Not fun at all. Like a very fucked thing to have to deal with. So, good luck, bro.
What is that? What was that you were saying?
Ulcerative colitis.
What is that?
So it's ulcers, but it's like in your bowel. So it's like a bowel-based thing.
Bowel-based ulcers.
And I don't know. Well, again, as I understand it, I'm not sort of like, oh, it's ulcers all over the bowel. I don't exactly know what the problem is, but I do know that, like, mate, it makes you fucking... It's a nightmare to deal with. You going to the toilet all the time and like...
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't know. I know there's varying degrees. Like, some people need surgery. Some people don't, I think. And I don't know necessarily how you remedy it, but it's something that you don't cure.
You can't cure it.
Nah, like, you got it.
That's it.
Again, I don't know whether it means... That's my understanding of it. You can't cure it, but you can manage it. And if there's surgery that makes it like that, again, change it. But like, family member, I had to have bowel removed. Basically, the large intestine gone. And I'm confused by exactly the anatomy here. So, you know,
large intestine removed,
and then I think so. And then it became like, is there a large and a small? So it's like
there is a small urine, large.
Right, so I'm pretty sure the large one, which like withdraws all the moisture out, and then it becomes like solid poos. Had to get rid of it, and then a new sort of like fashioned one there, but obviously it doesn't work as well.
Like a fake one.
Well, it's not a fake one, but it's like not a real one. It's like a less functional one.
Interesting.
Again, I don't know if you need that every time you get it, but it sounds like an absolute fucking nightmare. So,
poor bastard.
Thoughts with Cody.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. Sucks.
That does suck.
Side note to Cody, though, generally, Dragons looking awful this year. Just think it's probably important to finish with that.
I think it's important to point out that the Dragons will be my spoon selection this year. I would also like to point out that, given I know nothing, I also had the Cowboys getting the spoon last year. So
yeah, take that with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Specifically, though, fuck the Dragons.
Fuck them.
Eddie.
Tom.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things here. Conor McGregor, have you heard the recent allegations about Conor?
No.
Pre this video?
No.
So there's allegations that, and I'm saying allegations, so I don't just say alleged anymore, but like from a few months back that he fucked up a chick on his boat, and she like had to jump off to escape, and was like picked up by the Coast Guard or some shit.
He got handsy. Is that what you're saying?
That's the allegation, which is fucking disgraceful, obviously.
She had to jump off the boat and got picked up by the Coast Guard.
Something crazy like that.
Apparently, reportedly, allegedly, all that, reportedly kicked her in the stomach, punched her in the face, and threatened to drown her.
Oh.
So
God.
I think it's important to start with that because that's disgraceful if true. Obviously, presumption of innocence in any of these situations. I will say innocent or guilty here. Obviously, you would hope he's innocent because if you were to hope he was guilty, you would essentially be hoping that actually happened. You would hope that never happened.
I'm following.
You know.
Yeah.
He has become, he's becoming very fucking hard to stomach.
Oh,
generally.
Incredibly hard to
Just
stomach.
like not fighting.
He's
really weird on Instagram. It's a bit Magoo, dude.
It's a bit. It's completely Magoo. The meal's gone off.
Yeah, it
you know
has.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's like, it started as one of the most incredible pad thais you've ever had. Like, just a fucking pad thai that, no quid in it, Tom.
Yeah.
And a pad thai that came at the right time.
What sort of pad thai? I'm interested to know what you're
Chicken.
thinking. See, chicken, I'm thinking duck, but where they haven't fucked you on the duck.
Okay, so like a top-notch duck.
Well, it's like you're getting it off Uber Eats. It's like, oh, you're going to have to pay like another $7 if you want duck.
Listen, I'm going to go a step further. I think you're in your favorite Thai restaurant. You've ordered the duck because you've heard it's great. It comes out steaming hot. It hasn't traveled anywhere. It's ready for you.
Yep.
Right? But there's mountains of it. There's duck to go around. Everyone's enjoying the duck. Dining out on duck, enjoying the duck. Duck's great. You take the duck home. You put it in the fridge. You keep dining out on the duck. And it's not as good as it was,
No, it's not.
but it's still okay.
But
then you realise that there's still duck left after a couple of weeks, and you go to have some, and it smacks you in the face,
Food
and it's
poisoning.
like, oh, this is off.
Yeah, this isn't good.
That's
Just
Conor
quickly,
McGregor.
Before we get back to Conor, did I mention on the podcast last week about my dream with duck?
No.
I want to get a full, Peking duck from a Chinese restaurant and sit down and consume it in one sitting by myself.
You have said that to me multiple occasions. You've said that to me off air.
Yeah, that's
that
what
it's
I'm
one of your
saying. Like, have I
dreams.
ever said it on the podcast? I don't know. But
I thought you were saying you had a dream about a duck.
No, have I said it on the podcast?
No,
before?
you
I
have.
must
You
right?
have. You have. You have.
I need to make that dream a reality.
No, you've talked often
I need
about
to make
your
that dream a
desire to go
reality.
and lock yourself in a bedroom or a cupboard.
Well,
with
I'll
a
do it
duck.
in here. I don't need to. I'm not shy. I'm not hiding away. Get the pancakes out. Anyway, I think I have said it.
Kid wants a whole duck.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor's gone off, mate.
Now-
He's so Magoo now.
He's very he's the sort of guy that can turn it around. Again, assuming he hasn't done anything illegal.
don't.
I mean, you can turn it around if you come out and start winning.
But the way he is seems to I don't understand how you can come back from.
The only way is to come out and dominate and win. That's it. That's the only way. And it's very unlikely because he's fucking 34 and he's, beyond it. But the allegations aside, because we're just parking those there, I heard someone describe that, there's no one better than Conor McGregor at muddying the news cycle waters when he's got some controversy with other shit. And he wasn't saying that this most recent video that came out was, fake or anything, but he was just the guy always seems to have something to distract you when he's got a scandal. And it was him.
There's no way you could fake.
No. I don't think you fake it. But he got hit by a car while he was riding a push bike.
What I'm saying is, so he gets hit by someone's fucking gone up the arse of him while he's riding his bike. Come off, cut his fucking leg and shit. I don't know how quick he was going or how quick he got hit, but he's in relatively okay nick.
He bounced up. Well, the thing that's funny is that as soon as he's hit, he's up on his phone filming it. And you can tell in his voice he's rattled.
Exactly, which is why it's not fucking put on. You could also tell when he's in the car getting driven by the guy that's hit him and he's filming him, asking his name and shit. The guy is fucking shitting himself. He's shitting himself.
Imagine hitting someone, which is
Dude,
obviously...
the look in that fucking guy's face is fucked.
But imagine hitting someone. Obviously, hitting someone in a car is a nightmare scenario. Being hit by a car is a nightmare scenario. But hitting someone, then going, holy fuck, you get out and it's Conor McGregor. You're not only could this guy sue me to death, but if I haven't incapacitated him, he might get up and give me one of the great beatings of all time. And the guy was just apologising profusely, like, I'm so sorry. Can you get the video up, Dave? I'm so sorry. And he's going, geez, you're bleeding, brother. And he's like, you're right, mate. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Jesus Christ, praise the Lord. I almost died. And no, get the first one up, not just this one. Go the first video.
Got off a blade, boy. All good, mate. All good.
I'm totally
Don't worry about it.
Seriously.
Mate, that's nice. That's fucking hot. We could have been dead there, mate. Look. That guy's at the cream of me, boy. Yeah.
I can't believe he gets out and films.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not getting away with my life there, boys, yeah?
Do you want to...
No, I don't give a fuck, mate. All good, all good. Safe travels. God bless, brother, yeah?
Sorry.
All good, all good.
Sorry.
Do you want me to bring the bike home and all that?
Do you know what, yeah? Grab it and throw it into this. I'm going to actually need a lift home, mate.
Yeah.
That boy's fucked.
Give me a lift home, cunt.
Oh, good look. I'm about to come in. I'm about to get a smoke of a whip. A motor.
I find it very hard
next
to
video.
understand him.
Well, no, he's hard to understand the best of the time.
What's your name, my
Look
man?
at this guy. Don't film me,
Nick,
please.
Nick. Nick's had to smack me in the car with his car. He got the bike in the back. Wasn't there to
Look at Nick. Look at Nick.
I'm I'm still here, thank God. That's all that matters.
What's your name? It's like, dude,
Look at Nick.
how many followers Connor got?
40 million? 30
50?
45.
45.9 million followers. You're going, oi, dude. But see, look at this photo that he
Get the
posts
photo
afterwards.
up, dude.
Dude, that is the most...
Look at that. That is... Look at him sucking in and shit. Holy fuck.
Dude, that's like a very homoerotic photo that he's posted there. For like 99% of that photo is not necessary for you to see he's got a scratch on his ass.
Coach Kavanagh, 55 or 70. Like, what are we doing?
Can I also... There was a thing that happened a couple of weeks ago on Twitter with Connor where... I don't even know this with Twitter, but like you can see what you've liked, or if you're not on private, you can see like what you've liked, what tweets you've liked.
Yeah,
And
other people can see what you've liked.
and there's one, and it's of a nude gentleman from the waist up, but he's beating his meat. And so there was this thing of like, oh, Conor McGregor might be bisexual or gay because he's liking
And
tweets.
Connor's liking them.
Because he liked it. I don't think that actually is true, or who gives a shit if it is or it isn't. It was just something that happened. But yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't realize you could see people beating off on Twitter either. That
No, I
shocked
didn't
me.
know
I was
that.
like, I didn't think that Twitter was for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncensored stuff on Twitter.
Is there really?
Because people get caught all the time liking stuff like this. And it's often people who are like, you know, campaigning against whether it be pornography or whatever it is. Of
I had
certain
no
type.
idea that
Yeah.
people were on there fucking beating off. No idea.
No idea. But either way, you just like in the shadows of that story, or in the wake of this weird story of him liking a guy whacking off, that photo. It was the first thing I thought. I would go, wow, that photo looks awfully homoerotic.
Yeah, it does.
Or I guess it doesn't have to be homoerotic because chicks would like it as well. So maybe just erotic.
Well, I think it's just come and get some.
Yeah.
That's what it screams to me.
It looks sexy.
It does. And he's got his pants down
To the point where,
yeah.
You can see his ass. You can almost see some pubes. Like, should we just go back to
you
that?
can't really see some pube.
Well,
I think
is he a shaver?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Can we go back to that one and just see there?
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's smooth.
That also looks like the weight of his pants holding down the shaft.
Yes, I'd agree with that, Tom. I'd agree with that. Look how far down his pants are.
Yeah.
He's gone a long way down.
Now, those pubes are trimmed, dude. There's no
Trimmed
way.
within an inch of their lives.
Yeah.
Sucking in. Looking in pretty good nick.
I don't
I'll
know
give
if
you.
he's necessarily sucking in, maybe slightly, but I mean, the man is jacked.
Oh, he's jacked. But listen.
It would be nice to be able to take a photo like that, in fairness. Like, I don't know how we would look if we were to try and recreate that, which I'm not saying we do.
No, I don't think that the public needs to see that, Tom.
No.
No, we wouldn't recreate it well.
Well, it wouldn't look good.
It wouldn't
Maybe
look
after
good.
the ab pro.
Yeah,
machines
once
get
you
on.
get the old...
It'd look fairly fucking off-putting.
yeah, me particularly, I think. You wouldn't look
I
much
wouldn't
better.
look good
You
though.
wouldn't look much
dude.
better.
I'm not gonna fucking sit here and try and win that battle, even
No.
though I probably would.
No, you'd win it, but
I
it wouldn't be
don't.
by much.
It wouldn't be. It
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be
by
by a
much.
whole lot.
No.
It wouldn't be.
But it
by
would be a
whole lot.
win. It would be a win.
Conor
Anyway,
McGregor. It's just another chapter in an
In a weird book.
increasingly weird book.
yeah, it
dude.
started off as like one of the great books all time.
and it got weird.
Yeah.
It's gotten really, really odd. God knows where we go from here because he's not that old.
Just announce a fight, please, for fuck's sake. Apparently, Tony Ferguson is one that he might come back for. Talk about picking one of the oldest,
Tony Ferguson. Jesus Christ.
who's lost, I think, his last 5 fights, maybe.
Well, Tony's
Whatever.
Tony's got a bit punchy, unfortunately.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Connor. Hopefully, all that other fucking very heinous allegations aren't true.
He
but
tags McGregor fast in that as well, which is outrageous.
Yeah, that is outrageous.
Sure.
Should we get some dribbles, buddy?
Let's do it, bro.
Time for some dribbles, punters and dribblers. Time for some dribbles. We have an interview straight after this potty, so we've got to get through.
Push on through.
Push
to the
on
other
through.
side.
We got to rip. Got to rip. Got to rip. Let's go.
Tom, Eddie, the Northern Dribbler here of English fan. Just wondering, what's the longest game of pool you've ever watched? I've just watched my two mates, both brothers, both dribblers, play a game of pool, and I think it lasted 24 minutes. Absolutely fucking shite. Anyway, beer soon. Shout out to KO. Shout out to KO.
Shout
Not
out to
an ad, but an
KO.
ad.
Shout out to K. Listen, I think that I've seen games go longer than 24 minutes, particularly when you're pissed.
I think you and I have come in off like maybe a bit of a pool hiatus before, and you're right, probably a couple on board, and go like, holy fuck, this game will not end. Like, someone put me out of my misery.
I've seen some games go for longer than 24 minutes. I'll give you the
I'm pretty sure
fucking
actually
shit.
grand final night last year, the NRL, like there were
Yes.
some games.
Yeah,
that,
they went for 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah. I think when you've got the pressure of like someone with a coin on the table, that maybe like it somehow speeds it up. But when you're just in here and there's no, other than the pressure of just being boring as fuck.
There is also situations that arise where like you'll have my balls are at one end of the table and yours are at the other, and you've just got to go the long shots, and nothing ever gets
Nothing
done.
goes in. Nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done. Absolutely nothing gets
You go down that end, and I try and keep the ball away from yours, and then you get on your end, keep it away from mine, but we're not sinking any.
No, we're not singing jack shit. So shout out to our English friends and
Yeah.
English dribblers. But I'll give you the fucking odd tip count. 24 minutes
Yeah,
has
no.
been bested in this very room.
Yeah. And also shout out to KO, not an ad, but they mentioned it.
They did. So, be rude of us not to point that out.
Mm-hmm. David?
Internet struggling.
Yeah, g'day boys. It's the Cattle Baron Dribbler here. Just listening to the potty and enjoying the rhetoric about the 12 holes of golf being enough. And it took me back to a time when we played a game of golf with the great Jeff Athletic down at Mollymook. As you know, accomplished sportsman, but definitely not accomplished golf player. Jeff's shanked one into the timber there at Mollymook and thought that he'd beat the crowd and tricked the boys by picking it up and throwing it back onto the fairway, only to throw the ball as hard as he could straight into a tree in front of him. Ricochets off the tree and goes behind where the original shot was taken. And some good Samaritan golfers on the fairway over, they alluded us to this and said he picked it up and he was trying to throw it back onto the fairway. So here's to Jeff Athletic. It's not an ad, but it's an ad. Go the Mighty Roosters. Thanks, boys.
Fucking Jeff Athletic. Look,
I didn't think Jeff would have that sort of behaviour in him.
No, but you know what? I think he might. If he's got a couple on board, he can become a wild bit of gear.
Right.
Now he's an accomplished footballer. He was an Australian schoolboys rugby player.
Was he really?
Yeah. He was an animal. Maybe that hand-eye coordination stuff. He was a flanker, so it wasn't like he was having to do heaps of ball playing.
Mm.
But hand-eye probably not where his strong suit is. Just knowing him as well as we do. He's probably similar to you in that you don't have hand-eye coordination, but obviously you're not similar in the fact that you didn't play Australian Schoolboys Rugby Union.
No, I didn't. I don't know if that shocks anyone.
No, but look. Is it play on trying to throw your golf ball onto a fairway? No.
No. No. Unless, of course, you were playing best ball and given yours is in the fucking scrub, probably not the best ball, and you're trying to get it back in. Otherwise, it's probably a little bit uncouth, Josh.
Yeah, listen. We're gonna.
I'll let this one slide because you're a great guy.
Well, because he's great. We go to him for training, not for golf.
You're a great guy, right? And I'll put this down as like a one-off.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me either.
You wouldn't want to get it. You wouldn't want to get a name for yourself, though.
Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if this dribbler here, because I mean, I know Josh of Jeff Athletic fame. I don't know who the fuck that dribbler is. Would it surprise you if it was some like, rival fitness guy who's calling up to try and sully the good name of the great Jeff Athletic?
Trying to sully the fucking waters?
Yeah.
Is this, if we stumbled into a personal training beef?
That wouldn't shock me.
No, it wouldn't.
Because Jeff Athletic, he's humming at the moment, pumping.
But you weren't that shocked by...
I'm not shocked that he's shanking balls.
By Jeff with a couple on board.
Oh, I'm not saying that a couple on board means he's going to start throwing balls onto a fairway. I just know that Jeff with a couple on board, he once spit a full rum and coke into my face.
Yeah.
At the Oak one night.
So there's a bit of that wild
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. But it wasn't even aggressive. He just did it, and I just stood there with rum and coke driven down my face and went, well, that was...
You would have liked that.
Yeah, I loved it.
You would have
loved
it. Did you go home?
No, but I wasn't happy about it. I went to the bathroom and rinsed myself. Didn't matter because I had rum and coke all down my chest, so my belly button was sticky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Shout out to Jeff Athletic. I call bullshit on that dribble. I'm Team Jeff.
Tom, Eddie, Dior, Tobler, punters and dribblers. It's a stats man back with a cricket dribble. There was some debate at the time about making a fast bowler our test captain. So now that Pat has had a minute in the role, let's check the report card and see how he stacks up. His record after 13 tests as captain is 8 wins, 1 loss, which is a very credible 61.5% win ratio. Compared to some other notables, way ahead of him we have Steve Waugh, 72%, and just ahead of him are Bradman, 63%, and Punter, 62%. And I think we can all agree that they probably have better teams at their disposal than Pat currently does. Interestingly, trailing behind Pat, Smudge, 56%, Taylor 52%, Pup 51%, Payne 47%, and Border 34%. So it's early days for Pat, and there are some big series ahead this year, no doubt, but he has certainly proven to be absolutely up to the task. Be it soon.
Love it.
Okay. That's some nice context.
Saw this the other day on the weekend. I don't know which women's weekly it was in. Probably the Daily Telegraph. The mantra for the Australian Test cricket team has been taken or inspired by our dear friend, the one and only Ned Brockman. In the paper, one of the things was about the side, and it was like, now I can't even remember the goddamn. It was like, keep showing up, but like, which was Ned's, like, just keep showing up, but it was like whatever it takes or whatever's necessary. I got to try and find it now. Can you try and find it, Dave?
Yeah, I've got it here.
Which one is
article's loading.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
but
fuck, I'm not subscribed.
we have a login. You should know the passwords.
It's for the Chronicle. I don't even know what that is.
I don't think we've got a password for the Chronicle.
Oh, no, it's the same.
they're all owned by the same.
Yeah, yeah. It's
right.
Whatever, just keep turning up.
Just keep showing up.
Just keep turning up. Sorry, Ned, for butchering your fucking sayings. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, just keep turning up. That might be it. Anyway, just that Ned Brockman's he's being used as motivation for the Tour of India, which is just around the fucking corner, mind you.
Yeah, it is.
It is
The ninth.
just around the corner. I can see it.
The 9th.
Ned has inspired the Test cricket side, which is horny as fuck. What's even hornier? I saw this on Instagram the other day, and it's just casually, it's Ned Brockman at the golf course with Hamish Blake and Pat Cummins.
I know.
I just saw that, and I'm like, this motherfucker.
He's starting to rub shoulders.
Mate, his shoulders are being rubbed to the inch of their life, dude.
Yeah, with a couple of real heavies.
Just as casual as you like. They're just sitting there. And he hit a good shot as well. Like, obviously, he's just a natural, athlete.
Of course he did.
But he's sitting there just crunching them with Hamish, of Hamish and Andy fame, and Pat Cummins of Test captain fame.
Of second most important job in the country fame. Arguably the most important.
The most. But I just saw, I saw that in the paper, and then I've seen that, and I'm like, Ned, What a fucking
Well, he's earned the
life.
right, though.
Oh,
He's earned the
yeah,
right.
absolutely
He's earned the
he
right.
has. Mate, they're lucky to be playing golf with him.
Correct, Tom. What would Brockman do?
What would Brockman do?
That's what gets me out of bed every day.
Yep. Yeah.
Keep trucking it up.
Tom, Eddie, Theo, Dave, Tobler, punters, and the dribblers. I've just had this question that's been bugging me, and I thought who better to ask than you blokes. I've just been wondering, how do you reckon that they get the sharks into SeaWorld? Because I've been thinking about it. I've got two theories. The first is there's a tunnel under SeaWorld that they chase the sharks into. I thought that would be a bit red hot chasing the sharks. So the second I came up with is that they swing them in on a chopper. But after the other day, I don't think they'll be doing that anymore. But I just thought I'd ask you boys, to be honest, I'm a bit at sea about it. So, pardon the shit puns, fuck the fish, animal in captivity forever, hooroo.
Okay.
I have got to be honest with you, sir. I have spent zero time in my life thinking about how they get sharks into SeaWorld.
I will say this as well. They don't do great whites. Great whites can't survive in captivity, so it's usually just your grey nurses, things like that.
Your hammerheads, Tom.
Hammerheads, your reef sharks, a few of those ones that you don't know what they are, but they're sharks. I think if we're looking at your bigger ticket item,
like they wouldn't move them in tanks, would they? Would they just fucking?
You'd have to move them in a tank. What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. Do they move them in tanks?
Listen, you're not gonna. I do like his theory of chasing them into a tunnel. I don't know how that would work operationally, but I don't rule it out.
Like,
I think you're not choppering it.
Like, do they catch them and drag them behind boats? Like what?
No, when you see him tag them though in your Shark Week documentaries,
Yeah.
and they get him to swim alongside the boat, and then they put the thing under him and lift him up, and they're sort of sitting there.
Yeah.
I think that's what you do, and then you put him into a tank. Wouldn't surprise me if they put him in the back of you see those the trucks that drive around with petrol in them.
Okay, like one of those cylindrical tanks.
Cylindrical operators.
Yeah, right. Water.
I tell you what, you'd be a smart man or woman if you were to have a big sort of glass bottom boat sort of a tank, but not bottom, just the whole tank's glass with water in it.
With a lid.
One that you can take off there, 'cause you don't have to put some feed in there.
Yes.
And you just cruise through the streets with some sharks in there, obviously on their way to.
So
maybe you could take them out for the day.
So instead of going to the aquarium, we're bringing the aquarium to you, the punter and the dribbler.
And these trucks are just going to drive around with a couple of sharks on board for the kiddies.
Yeah.
Get it down to a local footy game, come and have a look at the sharks.
Shark tank.
Shark tank. Shark tanker, yeah. But you get the fish, dolphins, get the fish down to a bloody Redcliffe game, couple of dolphins in a tank.
Oh, so there's dolphins at the game.
Shout out to the Miami Dolphins who used to have, I think, if Ace Ventura was true, they used to have a dolphin at the game.
What better way to inspire the men
or women
than with dolphins
nipping
pitch
about.
Side?
Yeah. Eels.
They could do a halftime show, Tom.
That's a couple of flips.
Now,
obviously, they're oppressed and they're captured and they want to be living in the wild. So, it's not all fun and games.
Yeah, you call it flip for freedom.
There you go. If you kick a goal with your flippers, then you get your freedom. Slot it from the sideline.
Win the crowd, win your freedom. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Now, obviously, that took a turn, but I don't hate that idea.
I don't hate it either. It worked for fucking that guy in Gladiator.
It did work for that guy in Gladiator. Dave, let's move on.
Can't remember his name.
Neighbours. Everybody needs good neighbours.
This is a track, by the way.
With a little understanding, you can find the perfect blend. Neighbours should be there for one another. That's when good neighbors become good friends. Well, hello, gentlemen, it's your boy Ken from Kensington dribbling in. And I must say, Kenny's got a bit of a spring in his step this morning, knowing that Sydney's sexiest quizmaster, David Bloom, is now sharing the same postcode as Sydney's sexiest male masseuse. And no, I'm not talking about that Cambodian companion of yours, boss Tommy. No. I'm talking about big bad Kenny over here. Now, David, I know you probably get a thrill out of asking all the questions down at the watering hole, but how about we flip the script and you have a crack at answering one of my own questions, eh, big shot? All right, buzzers ready? Okay. What's long, hard, and full of semen? My penis. Later, boys.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, no,
I got to give it to Keno there. That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was good. That was almost Keno's best.
Yeah, I really liked it. He starts off with the Neighbours ditty to get us nostalgic, bring back Neighbours. In fact, I think they are bringing back Neighbours after 1 year.
Are they?
I did hear that somewhere. I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's true, Dave. You could find that out. But to start off with a nice nostalgic soap ditty like that into a semen joke.
Well, it was a joke framed as a question because obviously young David now, runs a trivia night or nights.
He's a quiz guy.
Depending on the week, nights.
Nights.
Quiz guy.
Quiz guy.
Yeah.
Liked it though, Keno. Liked it.
I have been reminded by a few dribblers that I now live in close proximity to Ken from Kensington.
Yeah, you
do. After listening to that last night, after also watching the film The Ring, I did not sleep much last night. Every sound I heard, I thought could have been Ken at my window.
Coming for your ring.
Yeah, coming exactly right.
Yeah.
Ken's got his eyes on one ring.
Yeah.
Your ring.
That little D or Dave, do it.
Yeah.
D or do it.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping with one eye open, that's for sure.
Yeah, your bum hole. Your brown eye. Okay, let's move on.
Thanks, Ken.
Jesus Christ.
Guys, Palmer's Island dribbler here. I have one of those ab stimulators. That thing actually bloody works. I bought it to help my shitty back. As you know, stronger abba-dabba-doos usually helps with the Gary Jack. I use it a lot, but I also get blokes down my throat a lot. So the results aren't the best. Another note, which one of you blokes used to deliver flowers for me brother-in-law, Kieran, at My Flower Man? Not an ad, but an ad from a dad. Kieran, a.k.a. Uncle K, said to tell your mate Streety he's going to tell him up when they eventually play golf. Catch you, boys. Love your work.
Was that you?
I delivered flowers for My Flower Man for 3 days, and they didn't require my services after that. It was not great. That was after I got laid off from radio, and I was about to have a child, and things got very tough.
And weren't they going to pay you per hour or per flowers delivered?
Yeah, there was something there. And shout out to My Flower Man. I can't remember exactly how they were going to get me. I felt like it wasn't going to be lucrative either way. Yeah. And that's not on them. That's just the nature probably of the flower delivery game. Tough game. But I did deliver flowers. And Streety didn't deliver flowers, but I think he put me onto him because that was his cafe he'd go to every day. So it's like a flower shop and a cafe in Bondi.
Good stuff.
That being said, the ab thinger, it's exciting to know that if you were to eat right and do right, that maybe it does work and help you back.
Tom, I expect results.
We were talking about it last week, and I was talking about the TENS machine, which was for like pregnant women.
Yep.
Some dribbler, I think you may have put it on the P's and D's, don't remember your name, sorry, brah, but he was like, just so happens that his wife started trying to shame him for like not knowing baby shit. And she brought, you don't even know what a fucking TENS machine is. And it just so happened he just listened to the podcast. And he's like, fuck off, I don't. And went and explained it and just floored her. And he's like, thank God for Hello Sport. So you're welcome, bruh. You're welcome.
You are welcome. It's what we're here for, helping out the punter and the dribbler.
And shout out to flower delivery people everywhere. You keep the flowers moving.
I love flowers. Without flowers, straight stops.
Yep.
All right, last dribble.
Great T-shirt, that.
Yeah, right, mate. So, I know you get this a lot, but first-time caller, long-time listener. But I am also, you could say, a friend of Toddler. And I'm over the bullshit this guy keeps on receiving from you two. All right?
Okay.
You know what? I know you have to blame someone, but I reckon you blame Dave. What's he got going on? Tobler's got everything going on. He's a Manly Seagulls supporter. And probably that's about it. But just leave Tobler alone. As Britney Spears supporter said that time, leave Tobler alone.
Sounds like some moles at Big Tobler are calling up the podcast trying to...
Do you recognise that voice?
Oh, slightly, but it could be from one of the many Tobler supporters out there, and I appreciate the call for support.
That sounds like a
sounds
horse
like
voice
a lovely
there.
young man.
Have you been ripping in town on the weekend?
Well, kind of. It was,
He was
hottest
singing- he was
100
singing
day
the
on
hottest
Saturday,
100.
so that was a big day.
He's singing the hottest one.
What do you mean singing?
Well, like,
As in singing all the songs that came on?
yeah,
Not
'Cause
quite.
he wasn't drinking, so he's just singing.
Oh, you're still not drinking.
Yeah, sober soldier. I got like a week left.
And so you didn't... So you went to a Hottest 100 party, didn't drink, and just sang, and that's why your voice is gone?
Well, no, I was kind of vaping all day in the absence of alcohol, which I think did a bit of damage on the throat.
I
But
do
we're singing in there as well.
But were you singing or not?
Which one did you belt the loudest when the song came on?
Fuck. Can't remember.
Were you happy that Flume won?
Yes.
I feel like I don't know that fucking song. Can you get it up?
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll have to like play only a bit of it or something. But I wasn't listening to the Hottest 100. I've always enjoyed the Hottest 100. I don't know if it's a sign that I'm a fucking. I just, to be honest, think that my interests are no longer focused on fucking music all that much. So I'm not paying attention to what's going on. But I was sitting at home, and it was just me and my sister after Evie's birthday had wound down. I just whacked the Hottest 100 on. It was in the 50s, and I was like, there was a 4-song stretch of some of the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, I feel like the top 10, top 20s where you're getting your good stuff.
But mate, it's pretty fucking grim.
There's some grim. It's
pretty grim when you're in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Like, you might get a gem here or there, but generally
Or you'll get one where you go, this is a good song. I don't know how the fuck it wasn't higher up. Flume now, I think only one of 2 other people to have won it twice.
I don't know if I've heard this song.
I don't know if I have either.
Just waiting.
Just waiting for it to kick off.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Have you?
Yep.
I haven't yet. I need to wait for the chorus.
Heard it? No. No.
Is this the chorus?
Yeah.
The video clip's pretty fucking hectic.
Shout out to Henry Stone, directed it. Good dude.
You know Henry?
I have been in one of his productions.
There you go.
What production were you in?
It was a comedy special from Sam Campbell.
There you bloody go. Nice.
Well done, Flume.
I've not heard that song. The video clip's very etch. But yeah, it's now him and Powderfinger who've won it twice. Powderfinger did 99, 2000 back to back. Can you tell what songs
Yeah, no,
were
that's
they?
true. Yeah, the songs. I also, so Powderfinger.
Shout out to Powderfinger.
Dude, I want to get our boy fucking Bernard on.
Fuck yeah.
I'm pretty sure these days.
Our mate Bernard.
Shout out to you, Bernard. One of the greats.
I'd love to get Bernard on. Now, it's
Same,
in
dude.
Queensland. Like, I'd go
We'd
up
fly
there.
up.
I'd fly up
I'd
there.
fly for Bernard.
But I don't know if he'd like want us in his physical space. He might be like, hey, just do a Zoom, buddy.
Yeah, but Bernard might also want us.
He
in his
might
physical,
also
he
want-
might
he
want us
might
in his
want us-
physical
yeah.
space, Tom. He
Yeah,
might.
he might.
And I'm not going to deny Bernard the opportunity to have us
In his physical space. I'd love to.
I'd love to be in his physical space.
And he's a Byron guy, so we got to nip up to Byron.
Got it.
For a couple of days.
Sorry. Well, a week.
Probably a week, because, I mean, we might
Because
have to-
Bernard's busy and we don't know when.
We don't know when. It's like we just got to be ready, and then obviously we want to edit it and make sure that there might be some extra stuff.
We just need to be willing and able for
Yep.
Bernard.
Yep.
Of back-to-back fucking Hottest 100 fame.
These days in my happiness.
Dude,
Makes
what about
sense.
2 fucking tracks to back it with? Now, are they the same album?
Oh, I don't know if they were the same album.
That would be interesting. It wouldn't make sense necessarily, I guess, because you're releasing an album all at once. But
But it could have been a
release
single, yeah.
Singles released at different times, huh?
That was off that one album where there's them jumping into the pool. Can't remember what it's called. Odyssey number 5.
Because it's kind of like, if it's not, you've also released 2 fucking heavy albums. I mean, heavy in a
Yeah,
good
it was
way.
the same.
Same album.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's fucking cool.
That is
Burn it.
cool.
They had the record up until this year of most songs ever in the Hottest 100, but Hilltop Hoods just took
Hilltop
off them.
Hoods.
Did they?
Yeah. Which is cool. I
Did
like
they?
that.
I like Hilltop.
Dude, Hilltop Hoods 23.
I
It's
like
also much like
Hilltop.
the Grand Slams. Hilltop Hoods 23, and then it's Powderfinger and Foo Fighters on 22 each.
Is that right? There you go.
Did a bit of fucking Hottest 100 research.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Anyway, one thing before we go.
Yeah, mate.
Kyle Chalmers.
Yep.
Of swimming fucking juggernaut fame. I don't know whether this is a correct take here. I'm asking the question of you, Eddie, of Dave, of Tobler, of the punter and the dribbler. Yeah, now we know like he had the dramas in regards to like the way people were talking about Cody Simpson and
The menage a
Emma
trois.
McKeon.
McKeon?
Emma McKeon.
Kaylee McKeon.
Emma McKeon. And Cody Simpson. And then fucking he used to be with Emma McKeon, all that shit.
Winner.
We get it. But then everything has just been like, I haven't heard them talk about it really. I've heard him talk about it all the time and him talk about how he didn't like that people were talking about it and it was just after this race. And then he's come out again on a podcast and talked about it again. And he said there was like things that like had that, the Big Deal podcast is what he said it on. And I remember at the time, like he said, he's going through some depression and shit. And like, that's obviously you feel awful for anyone who's dealing with that stuff. But he just keeps fucking talking about it. I'm like, bruh, obviously it's your story, talk about it as much as you want, but if it's not going away because you keep talking about it.
Yeah. Okay. Someone needs to give him a fucking quick breakdown in like Media 101. The more you talk about it, the more you fan the flames.
You're just
bruh.
keeping this shit in the news, dude.
Otherwise, no one gives a fuck.
So
Otherwise.
he goes, but Chalmers said it was an interview with Gian Rooney last May after he won the 50-metre butterfly at the Australian National Championships that really proved a turning point for him and knocked him around massively. When asked about Simpson's disappointment, I got out of the pool. It was my first comp back from shoulder surgery. I just won a national title in my 5th different individual event. I'd swum a personal best time after shoulder surgery in the 50 butterfly. I was pumped, really, really excited and happy about it all. Got out of the pool and not one positive comment came from her, he said on the Big Deal podcast. She just drove straight into negativity. For me, Gian's been in the sport for a very long time, so she understands swimming. She understands the top 2 are the people who go for the major competition, and if you don't, then that's just unfortunate. Try again next year. This is all around how he pulled out of like the world
yes,
he pulled out of the world
Yeah,
championships.
yeah.
Cody made it, then he went back and was like, oh, actually, no, I'm going to do it now. Kind of sucked that someone had quite a personal lot to do with me. David, no, thing for me. He's like, I'm not going to speak to anyone on the pool deck now because of what happened.
Mate.
And all she asked, like, again, I get it. It's a bit of a touchy subject, but she was like asking him about the fact that he'd backflipped on his decision to compete in the competition because it meant Cody couldn't compete. I don't even think it's that. The way that the question read, which was like, just inquiring about the thought process around like, you changing your mind, but it means one of your teammates is missing out. Like, how does that feel? Sure, she could have asked you about it, your national championship swim, and maybe she should have. But I'm like, this is just going on too long now.
It's absurd now. It's absurd.
It's just going on too long.
Who gives a fuck, mate?
It
No one
wasn't
cares.
that bad.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't great. And again, I don't know what it's like to be blown up in the media and have your public shit talked about. That I can completely understand is not great. But the tone of the question wasn't about that specifically. And I just think like it just keeps going on. Every time I see a Kyle Chalmers thing, it's about him talking about this thing that he doesn't want to talk about anymore.
Yeah. You're talking about this thing that you hate talking about.
Talk
And
about
you're
it if you want, but don't talk about it like not stopping when you just keep talking about it. I don't know.
No, I'm with you.
It was just, it's
just advice.
Hey, listen, if I'm wrong, if I'm missing something, happy to, but I just don't see why the fuck I keep hearing about this thing.
Pack her up.
Pack her up, literally and metaphorically, because we're packing them up.
Pack her
we're
up.
done.
Pack her up.
See ya Thursday for an interview pod.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Could you two just not talk anymore?